Of the Custer County Board of County Commissioners will come to order. Let the record show today is January 8th, 2019, and the time is 9 o'clock a.m. I wonder, Mr. Nordyke, would you care to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, sir?
Sure.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Madam Secretary, would you conduct the roll, please?
I would. Commissioner Flower,
Present.
Commissioner Kanda,
Here in person.
Commissioner Prince,
Present.
Attorney Clint Smith,
Present.
and Clerk to the Board Kelly Cantor present.
Thank you, ma'am. You've been waiting 2 weeks to say that.
Yeah, I know.
haven't you?
It's a good thing.
Yeah. Amendments to the agenda. Commissioner Kanda?
None.
Mr. Prince?
I don't know if it's an amendment or not, but I would like to postpone the bylaws for the tourism board until we've had a chance to
Okay.
make them a little bit.
Let's deal with that when we get to it on the agenda then.
Okay.
Yep. Anything else, sir?
No, sir.
Only thing I have, would like to add to the agenda between the election of officers and old business, and that would be add public comment. That was
Yes.
inadvertently left off,
Sure.
so I would move that we add public comment. Entertain a second.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to insert the public comment period between, excuse me, election of officers and old business. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay, motion carries. Thank you.
It's really not an amendment, it's just a typo fix.
Well,
I'm just teasing.
yeah,
It's okay.
yeah. Brenda and I talked about that. We thought, yeah, we better actually do that officially. Audience introductions.
Dallas Anderson, rural Custer County.
Art Nordyke. Cal Leslie, rural Custer County.
Max Smith, rural Custer County.
I'm Guinevere Nelson. I'm the new extension agent upstairs and extension director. So thank you for having
Yeah,
me.
yeah. I asked her to come down and introduce herself, so we're glad to have you here. She was out at the weigh-in for the beef weigh-in on Sunday, and got to meet her aunt and her two children, and one of which I understand is enrolled in the Hollywood Halls of Education as we speak.
Both of them.
Both of them.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're first graders.
Good. 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 So, what grades?
Kindergarten and second.
Ah, okay. Well, good. 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 Well, welcome. We're glad to have you, and excited to kick off the new year and get the whole extension thing up and running again. And
Great.
if you need anything, you just give us a holler anytime. Thanks for being here. You're welcome. If you need to go, you can go anytime you want. We will not take offense to that. Welcome, everyone. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it. Approval of the minutes for December 18th and December 31st.
And I'll move to accept those. They look very good. Thanks, Kelly.
You're welcome.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded to approve the minutes for December 18th and the 31st. Discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Those minutes have been approved. Commissioner items. Commissioner Prince, would you like to begin, sir?
Sure, thank you.
Yep.
I had several meetings with Cheryl Trent, and found it to be extremely enlightening and helpful. I met with the Custer County Kids Council, and just checking in with them. Tourism Board, continuing the discussions that I've had with them, ongoing. That's basically all I've done since a week ago today.
Okay.
You know, we ought to have the Kids Council update on that.
That is
sometime.
scheduled for,
When
I
is it?
believe the 23rd.
Is it this month?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, haven't heard from them since we said hi.
Yeah. Yeah, I certainly have continued to sign their invoices and forward them on to the state and get reimbursed. So, good. Anything else, sir?
discussions about the water board, but I think we'll talk about that.
Good, good. Yeah, I have not done a whole lot other than be in the office some. January 3rd, I did attend the Justice Center RFP meeting. We're moving forward with that, and I know there'll be some more information coming out on that, but they did look at that request for that proposal, so we're moving towards letting that out. And
A lot of work on there. Good.
yeah, I think it's moving forward.
And a chance to go over a lot of it yet.
So
Nice one.
I can't remember the exact schedule, but I think we're scheduled to look at that officially on the 23rd.
They're gonna bring it to us.
Yes, that committee will bring us the final RFP. We will look at that, and then the dates are subsequent to that. So then I also had I met with Cheryl Trent, had a breakfast meeting with her last week, and got to visit with her a little bit. So that was good, nice conversation. And for the record, Cheryl Trent is I guess she's probably the president of the S-Brand Corporation. And they're the ones doing our strategic plan, economic development strategic plan. That includes the survey that's been out, which has kind of been the most public thing so
And I'll
far.
say a couple
And
things.
she was here interviewing employers. Is that correct?
That's correct. She also met with the towns of Westcliff and Silvercliff. Westcliff, although not officially, has hired her. They are leaning very strongly towards that. In fact, they asked me, and I thought I'd ask you, Bill, for some references.
Yeah.
Some of the people we vetted before we hired her. So if you can give that to me a little
Yeah,
later,
sure.
I'd
I'll
appreciate
talk
it.
about that.
But I think they're on board with adding Westcliff to the mix, and I think the consensus was we probably ought to have, whether Silvercliff can afford to fund it or not, they really need to
They
be
need to be
part
part
of
of
it.
it.
So
They are
looks like
part
it's
of
gonna
this, but their focus needs to be part of the big.
correct, and it'll be down in Wetmore and Juliet Rye and all the rest of our areas, that's San Isabel. I'll make sure I get as comprehensive a county-wide input as we can.
And the funding for that whole thing is already in place, actually, correct?
No,
The funding for our piece.
so our piece
Well, that's
is-
what I mean, yeah.
Yes, our piece is fine.
Okay, so, yeah, and then to follow up on that, on January 11th, we've got a meeting with Silvercliff and Westcliff
Right,
and the commissioners to discuss
correct.
a collaborative effort towards that economic strategic plan, so.
Correct.
And then Sunday, the 6th of January, we had our beef weigh-in out at the fairgrounds, so obviously Miss Gwen was there, as well as our new ag teacher, Kyle Evans. And I never did hear exactly how many steers they ended up weighing in, but I think it was 12 to 14, so that's
good.
Moving on, yep.
There was a time when there was only one.
Yeah, so that, for the most part, is kind of what I've been up to. Commissioner Canada?
Okay, I'll make it quick, because as I noted here, when I came in, it looked like we're cramming a whole year's worth of stuff into one meeting today, so we'll just hit some highlights here. I'm sorry I was not able to attend the CenturyLink meeting, but I did follow up because it matters, as all three of us have agreed. The number one thing is to get our 45 citizens back online. And so I had a nice conversation with Bob Fife, as well as Tim Kunkelman. And I'll bring you up to speed on that. The plan is still to connect those guys. That's number one. And they are going after that grant, but Tim told me they're not going to be able to meet the 15th deadline. They're going to have to meet the March one, so it's going to delay. But they have enough time allocated for the temporary phones until they can get the towers coming out to pick them up on a microwave. So that's good. We can talk more about that in detail. I did ask them to plan on getting us for sure, and the forest guys and others up to speed before the meeting on the 13th, so we can make sure that we all understand and make sure we get it to the public for that meeting on the 13th that we're gonna have. I guess that's what it is, isn't it? February 13th.
13th is a Sunday.
Or what day was that?
February.
11th?
Wait, you may be
I
right.
thought it was the 13th.
February, yeah, sorry.
February 13th, yes.
So sometime between now and then, we'll
Got my month mixed up.
we'll sync up. And strat plan that you all mentioned, Cheryl is very good. And as a matter of fact, several of the people that she's interviewed have called me to tell me that there's no doubt in their mind that we picked the right one to do the job. She's really learned a lot, and it's important to, if you did fill out that survey, or if you haven't, fill it out. But it's not going to be used, and I'll repeat this again, to say, all right, 50% of people want breweries, so breweries must be important. It's to get ideas out, and from a diverse group, as much diversity as we can from different people, including young entrepreneurs. And that's why some of the people that she's talking to are not necessarily business owners, but striving to be, got some stuff in the infancy, those kinds of things, to see what's important to the younger generation as well as people that have gotten something going up here. There has been 461 surveys filled out online, and there's a bunch of them that we have a person going through them, manually entering the ones that are on paper that we've got distributed. The school was sent home one to everybody.
You know, I have several at my store. Do you want me to give those to you, or to whom should I give those?
They'll come in and get them.
Okay,
She should be. Linda Washington's doing it.
perfect.
She has the list of everybody, and she'll pick them up. So just keep them there for incentive. And she's interviewed almost everybody. There's 3 people that she's on contract for 15. We probably have enough money for a few extras. She will continue to do that, and if we want to move things around line item wise within the contract, we can do that and get a few more opinions. But it's really going well. And we're going to have to pick a place for the task force. We've got the meeting places for the public.
All right.
Toward
4th and 25th.
right the 24th, and that meeting is going to be where ideas and themes and interviews. We're going to talk about what the interviews yielded and just a general knowledge kind of thing for everybody. The second meeting gets a little more into it. So stay tuned. More to follow on the task force and the strategic plan. Airport-wise, I mentioned before, we finalized or finished out there. The engineers are going to be looking at it next week, make sure that things are on grade per the contract, and I'll talk more about that in the next meeting we have. We'll wait for that to happen. I will be attending Action 22's got a board of directors meeting on Friday. I'll be down there on Friday on the board, and also we'll be going on the Upper Ark. Tom and I and Jay are going to be there to talk to the boys, let them know what our thoughts are. And the other meeting was with the town, called the town board, county with the towns.
On Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you will not be at that meeting, correct?
Yeah, I'm going to go to the Action 22 meeting.
Okay, I'll make a note of that. What time does that meeting start down there?
I think it's 1 to 3 or right around there.
Yeah, I looked at that meeting notification. I thought, well, I'm not going because we've got this meeting scheduled with the 2 mayors.
That's right, and that's important. The 2 of you are in the middle of that. I missed the last board meeting because I had another conflict during the last Action 20, so I better go.
Okay, yeah, and we've scheduled that as a workshop on the 11th. So,
That's at Tony's.
no, that is at
It's
the conference room at Rancher's Roost.
Are we talking about,
11th of January.
that's why I had
That's
it
like-
noon, is that not?
What did I say?
11?
It's at noon.
Yeah, it is.
January
It's a
11th,
tough-
sorry.
Yeah, he said the 11th.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, at noon, it's a luncheon meeting,
And that's at Rancher's.
and that's
Roost?
Rancher's Roost.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I think that's all I need to say right now.
Yeah, I think we'll talk more about the Upper Ark meeting later on in the agenda, so thank you. I had a date I wanted to remind you gentlemen, and now I can't seem to find it.
It's one meeting slide or no?
No, I was looking for it, and I don't know, I just was gonna say as a reminder, but Okay. Anything else, sir?
That's it for me.
Okay, good. Thank you. Attorney items?
At the final meeting of last year, on December 31st, you signed the deed, the warranty deed to convey the old gravel pit to Big E Ranch. And on January 2nd, the money was wired by the buyer. Kelly recorded the deed and sent it off, and the title insurance company will send off the actual policy to the new owner as soon as they receive payment. And I got the invoice and gave it to Donna, and she was going to pay it right away, so that deal is all done now.
Okay, perfect. Do we still need to provide her a waiver for Senate Bill 35?
That was
Or has
already
been
done and
That
it
was
was
part of the
recorded,
paperwork.
so
So we're done, finished up.
all done with that one.
Nice, thank you. Really
That's all I
appreciate
had.
your work on
Sure.
that. That's great. Very good. Administrative assistant items,
I don't have anything.
okay.
Just that we postpone the swearing in till 10 o'clock. and we'll-
Yeah,
Going.
I think we probably better because I know a lot of people were planning on being here, so I think we can move ahead with some other stuff here. There's this gray area of Commissioner Canada's term when it starts. I truly don't know that answer to that. Can we conduct business prior to swearing him in? Did
I've been
his
sworn
term
out.
end?
And that's an excellent question. He is a sitting commissioner as we speak. He's just being renewed. I don't know the legality of this. Maybe we need to ask counsel, but I feel very comfortable being a voting member and is sworn in as a renewal. It's not like a new person coming on, so.
Yeah, I
maybe
agree with
counsel
you
could give us a
100%, but I
better
felt like it
opinion.
needed to be brought up. Counselor, your opinion?
I think it's continuous. He's not coming in. He's already been sworn in, and it's sort of an uninterrupted flow, and I assume you're not going to be voting on anything in the next 30 minutes or so.
Well, we
Might
may
be.
if we move on. Yeah, that was the intent. My thought is along those same lines.
Term limit on my
That he's
appointment?
continuing office, but I really don't know when that term would have expired and when we would swear him in as a new.
It's when the new guy swears in.
So,
Well,
That's what,
I've been under the impression, and I could certainly be wrong, that the term expires at the time the new person is sworn in.
Yeah.
So my feeling would be that you are a sitting commissioner at this moment, and you'll be a sitting commissioner as soon as you're sworn in. The only difference is now your term will expire at a different date.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
I think you saw that on the national side.
Correct.
Everybody in government.
That's kinda what I'm leaning on.
Because you can't leave the seat vacant
Correct.
and unmanned.
comfortable.
Yes, there's not any problem with him.
My intent was if we move forward with
We
some
don't
of
wanna
the
have it be
agenda,
illegal.
then they would be voting items. But prior to that, and if by consent, I'm certainly
I'm fine with
fine
it.
with that.
Same with Art in Virginia. You wouldn't want Art's
And I would
position
also
being vacant.
suggest that the swearing in is effective really as of the very first, at 1 a.m. or 12:01 a.m. this morning, I guess, really, that he's taking office as of this date.
Day and the full day.
Yes.
All
So,
overlap.
Get 2 paychecks.
are we okay then to move ahead with election of officers, even though Commissioner Canada's not been sworn in as of today?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. So I would like to move on then to the election of officers, and then we can move through the agenda up until a little before 10, if that's all right, gentlemen.
Like, I'll go ahead and vote. I'm sorry.
Before you do that, let me say a couple things, Jay, because you're very good at taking the lead, and I appreciate that, and Tom too. If we'd have been sworn in before we did this, I would have said these kinds of things, because this has been the most rewarding, one of the most rewarding jobs I've ever had. It's diverse as heck, and I've never had 4,000 bosses before. And try to keep them all straight and happy is one thing. But it takes a team to do it, and this is the team. We don't always agree, and when it comes down to the bottom line, it's what's best for the county. It's what's best for the people of this county, and it's what our people want, first of all. And unless it's immoral, unethical, and illegal, then we'll draw a line, because we're sworn to uphold those values and those virtues that we have and try to embody. You always see us dressed up here in our ties. We've set a new standard for commissioners in the state. A lot of people say, well, why don't you be one of the boys? Well, we are, but we're showing respect for you because you're the bosses. And you get dressed up for church to show not respect, not because your partner next door's got a better looking suit. And if your dress up is only as good as a vest or something, then that's what it is. It shows respect. You would get dressed for the governor. Why wouldn't I get dressed for my bosses? You guys rule. So that's how we feel. It's how we've come together. I know we bonded together as a team and are looking out for those things. So I say that because I don't have a problem. I don't think we need to have an election of officers necessarily, but we have to formalize it. I like the job Tom's been doing. By the way, we're all equal. When you guys speak to us, you speak to us, not to Tom, not to Jay, not to me. It's us. And Tom has been doing a great job, I think, as the chairman, because he's been chairing everything from like both of us have had a lot of experience, but Tom started very early trying to teach the kids of this county the Roberts rules, and Tom's got them down, and I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
And I got my book of Roberts rules too, but I couldn't open it up like he could find the page. So I just wanted to say that, and I like the way the team is.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Comment, I appreciate you saying that, and I 100% agree with what you're saying. We don't agree always, but everybody sitting up here is best interested.
And we can duke it out with the best of them, but in the end, we patch each other up and we go
And
forward.
as long as the bottom line of what we're trying to put forward is for the rest of this county, we can disagree all we like, because the bottom line is always the same.
Right.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Group's pleasure.
I move that for year 2019, that we maintain the leadership of the BOCC as it currently is, that being Tommy Flower, chair, William Panda being vice chair, and myself being commissioner.
I'll second that motion. Thank you, sir. It's been moved and seconded to maintain our current leadership roles as Board of County Commissioners. Myself, Tom Flowers, chairman, Commissioner Kanda as vice chairman, and Commissioner Prince as member commissioner. Discussion.
You've done a great job, and I
Thank you.
agree
I
with
appreciate it, Ron.
Commissioner Kanda.
Thank you. I have desperately tried not to let this position go to my head. I'm very frustrated at times.
And we've all made mistakes too.
When I don't know things, and this morning was a great example. I truly do not know that, and it would take some time to research that. So don't
You're human, move on.
Such
try
thing
to
as a
make
dumb question.
any idea that I understand it all, because I don't. But I appreciate your vote of support for that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Aye. Sorry, opposed, nay. Motion carries.
One dissent.
Thank you.
He said nay.
Yeah. So we will move on. Public comment, anything from the audience? Anything on your minds this morning? Yes, sir.
I agree with the structure that the BOCC's been following. And as for you, Mr. Flower, there's several of us that won't let the job go to your head.
I believe that truly, yes. Yes, that's right.
Who would that be?
Yeah, I mean, it's never been a pride thing for me. So I hope that's not ever an issue, but thank you, I appreciate it.
And truly, this is a service. I mean, this is hard work, and we really enjoy helping you all. So thank you.
Yeah, it's hard enough, that's why I don't run for it.
Yeah, I'm beginning to see that.
Good. Any other public comments? Good morning, Nan. How are you? Yes, ma'am. Or, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'd like to reiterate what you guys said. What I've noticed is the working together and learning to agree to disagree, but still have respect. And to me, that's very important.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yes. Mr. Smith?
Yeah, I didn't know when you wanted me to speak, but I'm here in regard to the way I feel Upper Ark is handling the blanket augmentation plan. I don't know if you want me to talk about that now
You
or
know,
later in the agenda.
We've got the time now.
You
It
can
would
wait.
be appropriate, but,
I can do it. It doesn't matter to me. I've got the time. I can wait if you want.
well, this is what public comment's for. This is the letter that we're going to look at is on the agenda.
Correct.
And there would be public comment about the letter itself, but if you have other comments, now is certainly an appropriate time, so.
Okay.
And others may talk, and you can get some other ideas from that as well.
Yeah, it doesn't preclude you from speaking again when we get to it later. You're
All right.
welcome to do both, so
Well,
yeah, I would say go ahead.
If you, I don't want to take a lot of your time, but I think it's important for me to give you a little bit of who I am.
Yep.
I moved into the valley from the extreme southeast corner of the state about 5 years ago. And I grew up on irrigated corn and wheat, sunflower farming operation out there. Several generations back, farmers on both sides of my family. So I know farming, but not only that, since it was an irrigated operation, of course, I was also very interested in the water and trying to protect the water. I was on the local water board down there. That's designated basin water, not tributary to anything, unlike here, and no surface water down there. So, you know, the surface water thing up here is somewhat new, but I've been exposed to it. I'll get into that a little bit in just a minute. But not only was I on the local Southern High Plains Water District Board down there, I was on the Beckett County Conservation District Board for 20 plus years, the Weed Board for numerous years. But then
Sounds like we got a candidate for a lot of things.
but
Be careful, we're voting for members.
then being a representative on being on the board at Southern High Plains Groundwater Management District, all of those areas, all that designated basin water, they have a representative that sits on the state level, the Colorado Groundwater Commission, and that's appointed by a governor. Well, I sat on the Groundwater Commission for 17 and a half years, appointed by 3 different governors. And 5.5 years of that, I was chairman of the commission. So that's my exposure to the water, and it wasn't just, we were responsible for groundwater, but we heard a lot about surface water too, because they interconnect in a lot of places. But my concern with what Upper Ark is trying to do with the blanket augmentation plan, I understand somewhat, not fully. Colorado water law is very, very complicated, for me anyway. But the way, and I understand why you have to have augmentation plans. I really do. You already have some in the county. But to have a blanket augmentation plan is pretty scary to me, and I think everyone needs to take a look at that. And I have a ranch out here in the valley floor that I raise horse hay on, which has water rights, and I'm concerned about what that could do, how that could possibly affect not just me, but everyone else like me in the valley. And I know one of the guys that sits on the Upper Ark board, he and I have sat on the water roundtable
Right.
for a number of years together. Manny Colin down in Canyon City. And we talk on a pretty regular basis, probably about once a week at least, about water issues. And Manny's tried to get me to go back on the round table, and you know, I've served my sentence, I really have. But
you can advise.
well, I don't know about that, but I talked to Manny after I heard that they had approved the filing and the filing was going to the state. And I said, what's going on here, Manny? I know you're not in favor of things like that without looking at it at length. And, well, Max, I didn't realize it even included Custer County when we voted on that. He said we'd been looking at Fremont County, which is what affects him, for quite some time, and I just thought it was Fremont County that we were voting for. And he didn't even know that it was Custer County until I called him after I heard about it. And Bill Donnelly wasn't there. He had other commitments. Tim Canterbury, all three of those guys. Tim Canterbury was in the hospital.
We attend once in a while.
Yeah. And I was also told that maybe I shouldn't even mention this because I don't know this for a fact, that it wasn't on the agenda. So, you know, for it to be approved and it's already gone to the state, it's a little bit scary to me.
Yeah, great comments. I need to be careful what I say because, as you alluded to, my knowledge of Colorado water law is somewhat limited. But this is a complicated document to read through. I've done that. It's scary about how little I know about it. So I need to temper my comments a little bit. But it's my belief, let me just say that, it's my belief that this application is truly not a blanket augmentation plan application. I thought it was originally. I've heard that word bandied about. I think we need to be careful with that because in my understanding is a blanket augmentation would be for the entire county. And that is not the case here. They're wanting to expand their blue line. I have tried to comprehend where that blue line extension really is in this county, and it's difficult to pinpoint that without getting to GIS, which I just have not had time to do yet. But so I think I certainly don't believe this is an attempt to do a blanket augmentation plan. They tried that in the past, and I think that's one of the reasons they found they got into so much resistance. But go ahead, sir.
My perception of when I say a blanket augmentation, it's a blanket within that blue
Okay,
line.
got you.
I'm not
Okay.
implying it's the entire county. What I am saying is, my understanding is within that blue line.
Okay, good. Yes, sir.
Mr. Smith, I absolutely concur with you in the portion you said where the citizens of our county have not had an opportunity to understand what is being proposed, to comment on it, and we do not know, because we weren't afforded the opportunity, what is the long-term and short-term ramifications of this revised plan. That portion of it, I 100% agree with you, and I am, you'll see later as we get it as an agenda item, I am strongly opposed to what I perceive to be a non-open to the public discussion so that input could be had from the people. The three commissioners pride themselves on having an open book on everything we do. We will never do anything of any consequence without the public having the right to input and discussion. And this is very difficult for me when an organization that supposedly is looking after our rights appears to be acting unilaterally behind our back without having public comment. There's where my problem lies. Now, whether the plan itself is good or bad, I don't know, because I cannot figure out where this blue line is and where it's going. And until I know that, I'm not going to sign a contract to buy a car when they say, well, we'll just fill in the price later. I'm just not going to do it. So I appreciate your comments and I concur with you completely.
Yeah, and Max, I appreciate you bringing that up, and appreciate our other discussion.
If you gentlemen, that application has, within the application, I think it's it's the agenda item A or number 1. It has a legal description of everything they're proposing within the blue line.
Right.
I have a copy of that.
And I'm not hiring a surveyor to show me where that
Yeah.
line is.
And we're
what I
gonna,
understand.
and we need to understand that. Even if you didn't understand anything about the water law, or even where the boundaries are, it is wrong to impact the county without the county citizens having a hearing, understanding it. And I fault that water board. They need, there may be good reasons, and they may understand it, but they need to explain how it's going to work. Because it's economically going to impact us one way or the other at some point in time. It could run people out of business up here at the expense of giving somebody water somewhere else. I mean, we got to understand how that is set up. So thanks for the input, and we're going to probably get into some more of that discussion, but we'll have a lot better handle on it because this letter, as you'll find out, is we're not going to waste our time with the water board. We're going to go to the division.
State engineer.
Yeah, and then we'll see.
Go ahead, Mr. Russell.
Well, if you look at your taxes in Custer County, we give money to Upper Ark, so we should have say
Yes.
in it.
We understand it. And as a matter of fact, Tom brought this up the other day. They had the audacity when we objected. We said, "What's going on here?" "Well, we'll meet with you." We said, "Great. Come on up and see us." Well, who are they to ask us to come up there? You know, you get your butt down here because you're impacting us. You know, come and tell us. Don't. We're going to go and bow to the throne up there.
What is that amount? 46, 48,000?
Significant.
$47,000 we're
It's a
paying
lot of money that
membership
we can
dues to
take care of.
not to understand anything.
It's been going on since 1986.
I know, and it's been going on in the closet.
So if I can, I'll just mention this. I'm not advocating this, I'm just information I'm giving out. Information. I contacted the Lower Arkansas Water Conservatory District, a gentleman named Jay Winter. I believe you've spoken to him also. Just questioning whether if it's even legal for us to move from the Upper to the Lower Arkansas Conservatory District if that was something that we decided to do. That's how upset I am. I'm ready to say I quit and move on if we can't resolve this and resolve it for the future. My understanding is this type of activity has occurred with this organization in the past. Now, I've heard that secondhand, it's hearsay, inadmissible, but the bottom line is I am totally opposed to any activity that doesn't have the county's best interest at heart without the county having an opportunity to voice its opinion and see what's going on. So I have taken that additional step. Mr. Winter was going to speak with his legal counsel and get back to me. He is not prior to this meeting, so I do not know the answer to that question. And if the answer is it is possible, then a discussion may ensue beyond that. Whether it happens or not will be a decision that we will make, probably with public input, because it's not the kind of thing that we would do without public input. So I just want to let you know that we are taking this extremely seriously. I think you get the message that there are 3 commissioners sitting up here who just have steam coming out their ears over this.
This is an aside, so we can move on, but Manny is married to one of my cousins. And Tom and I have both seen him in action down there, and I've been comfortable with him. I mean, he's asking good questions all the time, and he's trying to, and to have him be surprised just kind of gives you an indication on how that board operates, and that surprises me. Think about it. And then the other thing is Bob, he's a pilot.
Yeah, I think when I read through that, of course, the early part of that document kind of lays out the 3 purposes of this plan and this application that they have put into the Division 2 Water Court. Obviously, one of those is, and I'll read some of this, request approval for a regional plan for augmentation. Certainly does not is not limited to Custer County. There's a portion of the blue line that extends into El Paso County and, of course, the eastern portion of Fremont County. That's one of the things. It's a regional plan for augmentation to expand the geographic scope of Upper Ark's area. They also are requesting a change of certain water rights to make them legally available for use in this plan. They don't have that water available right now. So that's part of this deal as well. And then they also want to deal with their adjudicative exchange rights, which is a whole nother situation, to be able to exchange out water when it's in priority. So, and those would be Grape Creek, Taylor Creek, Middle Taylor, and the confluence of Grape Creek and the Arkansas River, to deal with Deweese Dye Reservoir and Conquistador. So
Yeah, because Manny, that water affects him, Fremont County, so I'm surprised.
That's how he makes his
You
living.
better believe it is.
yeah. So I understand, and I was at the meeting, obviously, when this motion was made. And the gentleman that made the motion is downstream. And the gentleman that seconded it is a commissioner from Fremont County. So I get that. They have their desires in Fremont County, and that's fine. I don't believe we're objecting to anything they want to do with Fremont County or El Paso County. There's part of the Upper Ark District goes into Saguache County. I couldn't imagine us raising hell with them about something in Saguache County. That's none of our business.
Exactly right.
I placed a call yesterday to Tim Payne, one of the county commissioners, Fremont County. Told him that I would like to visit with him about this topic, and he was in a meeting. I assume it was a commissioner meeting at the time. Again, I had not heard back from him either prior to the start of this meeting. So, and I wanted to convey that to him. You know, look, I don't believe this county commission has any right or concern dealing with what you're dealing with in Fremont County. So as a voting member of the Upper Ark, I would expect the same basic philosophy from those people as well. So they're certainly within the legal right to do what they did, not to seek input from our county. We understand that. We just don't believe it was the right thing to do. So
Yeah, especially if sometime down the road, it may, what happens in Saguache could impact us if they think they're gonna move water out of here to augment water over there. You know, who knows what deeds can be done downstream. We gotta understand the whole picture.
yeah, and I don't think any of us or anyone can unequivocally say and prove the impact of this.
You don't know.
We just have to study the potential impacts and then figure out what's best for the residents of our county. Yes, sir.
My time of service on the Water Roundtable, as you guys probably know, the purpose for that was to get rural and urban talking to stop the dry up of agriculture. But the fact of the matter is, and you guys, this is my personal opinion, it is going to happen. You can't be building all those homes that are going in along the Front Range and not have water for them. And the water belongs to the people of the state. So all they have to do is go to the legislature and convince the legislature that my golf course is no longer green, I don't have any water for my yard, or I turn my faucet on and nothing comes out.
Or Max, though, the other side of that coin is we ought to be lobbying them to spread that out. I mean, there's no reason you can't build the golf course downstream somewhere else.
Well, it's unmanaged growth.
And that's what it is. And mob rule goes, you know, the loudest voice. So we got to figure that out.
Yeah, all the water is spoken for. In the
Build
state of
houses
Colorado.
down here.
The only thing left is to take water from agriculture. Well, Rocky Ford is a good example. 95% of the water in Rocky Ford has been sold to Aurora. It's been leased back so those farmers can continue to grow what they've been growing.
At a cost.
Yeah, correct. And they were paid for it. You know? They didn't just give it to them.
Right.
They got money for selling their water. Right. But you know, you need to have the option to be able to do that. It's a property right. I don't want to sell my water. I love what I do here. I don't want it to go out of the valley. And I don't think most of the rest of the farmers and ranchers here do either.
Well, I think you hit on a point, Max, that we're going to see. This county has to decide where we want to go in the next 50 years and how we want to get there. Is that going to be managed growth? Is that going to be unlimited growth? Is that going to be no growth? I mean, the leadership of this county is going to have to decide based on the input from their citizens of how that's going to look. And this is probably at the top of that list because water and land use will drive what growth occurs in this county. And I think we're going to find in the next couple of years, we're going to have to determine what the citizens of this county want right now, because it's going to impact this, or this is going to impact the growth rate of our county. I don't think people are going to totally understand that there's a chance. The potential is there for domestic wells to dry up if we continue to drill wells into this basin. This is a closed basin as well. We have tributary water, surface water, absolutely. We just can't keep sucking this thing unlimited without starting to injure other wells. And I think the first ones are going to be these domestic wells. The second one's going to be the surface water and the ag water. I don't think that most people want to see this valley dried up from the agricultural perspective. I certainly do not as a commissioner, but those are some things I think we're going to have to flesh out. And it's not just, I think this is the tip of the iceberg. I know this battle's been going on for decades, but we can't worry about what did or didn't happen in the past. We have to worry about what's going to happen from here moving forward. And I think that the potential for injury, not only to private well owners and to ag, I just think we have to look at that and consider that as we move forward. So,
just for you gentlemen's information, when I'm on our ranch out in the valley floor, my north boundary is H2O. So I see it every day I'm out there.
Yeah.
And I don't want that happening.
right. Yeah, and then you take 3 elected officials that are not experts in water law or really in water use. It's going to be a difficult road. There's no question. And I'll be the first to admit it, and I have in another meeting said, gentlemen, I do not understand as much as I would like to understand about this water thing. It's going to be complicated. So,
well, unfortunately, I really think the plan was to make it extremely complicated. That way you have to hire, and I'm not picking on you two gentlemen, but you have to hire.
We pick on it.
You have to hire attorneys.
Right.
For the most part, I can go up there and I may have a little bit of credibility, about this much, but the first thing they will say when you meet with, say, the Groundwater Commission, because I would be familiar with that, well, where's your attorney?
Yeah.
Well, I can't afford $400 an acre.
right.
Or $400 an hour, or and where's your hydrologist and your engineer? And so it's just ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. And unfortunately, and you may disagree with me on this, I saw it time and time and time again. What's happening in Colorado, and probably not just Colorado, for the most part, whoever has the deepest pockets gets the water. And it's scary. It is very scary.
Well, I think there's, in my opinion, I think there's a lot of things going on just below the surface. I think that's by design. Obviously, it's in this document that Upper Ark believes was founded for the purpose and believes that they can deal with water courts much more efficiently and cost effectively than the average person can. They've got those attorneys, they're on the payroll 24/7.
That's why it's $47,000 a county.
Yeah, we're helping pay.
We're helping
Exactly.
pay for that.
So
But we need to have them working for us.
So I do want to say that I believe this Board of County Commissioners are working to educate ourselves and to be proactive in this particular arena. And I don't think we're just gonna sit idly by and be swamped. Yes, sir.
You can go a long time without food, but you can't go long without water. If you control the water, you control the population.
That's right.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the underlying premises of any water group, not necessarily Upper Ark. I think they know and understand that. Other public comment? Thank you, Max. I appreciate your input, and certainly, and I don't mean this frivolously, but obviously you have a lot of experience in the groundwater arena, and I respect you for that. Thank you for sharing that, not to be taken lightly. So,
Just before you move on,
yeah.
any chance we could hold a workshop and you can help educate us and any citizens that would choose to come, help us understand water rights better?
You know,
I hate to put you on the spot.
if I thought I could help you guys, I would be more than happy to do it. There's a lot of difference between surface water and groundwater. Now, you guys have groundwater here too, but it's tributary groundwater. What I'm familiar with is non-tributary
We
groundwater.
could get, he and Jerry Livengood together.
Livengood and I, we talk a lot, Jerry and I
Yeah,
talk
get you
a lot.
both together, we can ask questions.
There's people out there that can do that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to take too much of your time. I talked to the chairman of the Upper Ark when I found this all out, and you guys know who that is. And I expressed my concern, and but I was told that there will be some public meetings within the county here pretty soon to try to educate the people on what this all is. I personally think it should have been done prior to the filing, but that's my personal opinion.
Okay.
But there's got to be some people out there that would be more than, it might cost you, but
Well, we have a few more minutes. Other public comment? Yes, sir, Mr. Anderson.
That brings to mind something that happened here in 2010. There was a group of people pushing really, really hard to meter every well in the county. And I don't know how many people remember that, but it took a meeting of over 100 people in the courtroom to push that down and out of everybody's mind. And that, at the time, that group of people was being led by our extension agent. So, and I keep my ear out for that, in addition to other onerous things that people want to push off on us. But I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, I would defer to maybe Mr. Cinderhoff who just stepped in, but I think that whole metering thing was tied to the lawsuit with Kansas. Is that a fair statement or not?
I think that's part of it, but the majority of it is they had to do some water augmentation plans in those days, and I think it was the Blumenau subdivision part of it, where they then, the state required a meter.
Okay.
So a lot of it was from the state of Colorado, but led by the extension agent.
That was Blumenau's 4, I think, wasn't it, that had to do
There's
that?
no room out for
Oh,
them.
they're not. 3.
Yeah.
1, 2, and 3, I live in 1.
So it must have been 3.
Probably would.
Okay, other public comment before we go into recess? We're going to move, just in the event you don't know, we're going to take a recess. We're going to move into the courtroom for the swearing in of our elected officials and have some coffee and cake, refreshments. Then we'll come back in here and resume our meeting. I would anticipate we'll probably be 15, 20 minutes into the courtroom. So hearing no objections, we will move into recess at 10:56. Meeting will come to order. When we went into recess, we were in the period of public comment. I'd like to go back to that in the event anybody has public comment. I will open that up before we move on to the Rest of the agenda? Okay, we will obviously have to deal with a little external noise, but we'll get by. Yeah. Gentlemen, any old business come before the group?
I don't have any.
Nor do I.
I don't either.
We'll move on to new business. If you have not been in a recent county commissioner meeting, please know that on any action items that we vote on, I will ask for public comment prior to the vote. Most of our stuff today is business at the beginning of the new year, but you would be welcome to voice any questions or concerns you may have as we move along. So the first item of new business is the county holiday calendar. Gentlemen, I think you've had an opportunity to look at that.
Yeah.
I would move that we adopt the 2019 Custer County holiday calendar.
I'll second it as it's presented.
Okay, been moved and seconded to adopt the calendar as presented. This will include a resolution 19-01.
That would be the first resolution.
That would be the first resolution of the year. Second for me personally, but hey.
Yeah.
So actually, I should restate my motion to adopt resolution 1901 pertaining to the holiday calendar. Is your second okay with that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to adopt resolution 19-01. Custer County Resolution 1901, a resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Custer County, Colorado, adopting the 2019 official holidays for the employees of Custer County. Discussion? Public comment?
That has your picture on it?
Has
Like a fire.
the calendar? Oh yeah, it's
All right.
Gun City right there. No pictures, that's right.
Well, you want to see it, do you?
Let's see, 3 commissioners, 12 months, 4 times, no. Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries. Resolution 19-01, I've got the original,
You got the other one?
has been adopted.
Oh, you got it.
Oh, come on in, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Call you again.
Yeah, well, I'll be listening.
All right.
Only in West Cliff, huh?
That's a good thing.
That's right.
Only in West.
The next item is the 2019 BOCC meeting calendar. We'll sign the resolution. What's the group's pleasure?
I move that we adopt the proposed 2019 meeting calendar.
I'll second it. Looks.
Been moved and seconded to adopt the 2019 BOCC meeting schedule. Discussion?
I know that we'll adjust it as things come up.
Yeah, as we probably will. I would defer to airport if they have anything to say. Reps from the
We
airport.
requested that you have a meeting out there sometime this year,
Okay.
if you could.
Would you fly us out?
Personally come and get you.
Pick us up here on Main Street and fly us out.
Yeah.
I would suggest April 17th, our mid-month meeting in April.
At the airport?
That's a suggestion, yes, sir. Chair would entertain a motion to that effect.
That is at the expense of Wetmore. We could do it at the
Correct.
expense of us on another one here.
Then I'll go ahead and I'll amend my motion, if I may, that the April 17, 2019 meeting be held at the Silver West Airport.
I'll second the motion. Been moved and seconded to hold the April 17th Board of County Commissioner meeting at the Silver West Airport instead of meeting in Wetmore at the Community Center. Discussion about that, gentlemen.
Is it possible to stream it from the airport so the folks in Wetmore would be able to see it? Is that a doable
Certainly
thing?
can ask IT. I would guess on the front end, probably not, but we can sure ask.
They're pretty close to a tower out there on
Yeah.
Century, or
One of the reasons
I have internet, and it's all done over the internet. I'm just curious how hard it would be to take the camera and...
It's not hard at all.
it's bad.
we can try it and just see if there's enough bandwidth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that the only day you have? We
No.
have to boot out Wetmore.
Well,
Yeah, that's what
let
thinking
me-
we could do a different meeting.
Well, that's my point also. I don't want to exclude Wetmore if we don't have to.
Well, let me throw out my thinking there. Number one, we have in 2019 we had 5 meetings scheduled in Wetmore. So I thought, in all fairness, if we did not meet in Wetmore for one of the 5 meetings, probably not the end of the world. Number two, those meetings are not live streamed anyway down in Wetmore. So I thought, well, rather than picking a live stream date, although with respect to what you just said about maybe we can get it live streamed, but
Probably easier out at the airport than down at Wetmore.
could be.
So we're not
yeah.
excluding you.
No, we're February we have a meeting in Wetmore, March, May, July. So actually, and then again in September.
Would you,
Yes, ma'am.
maybe we ought to gas them, maybe there's something at the airport in the summertime.
I didn't
Would,
think you would, Nan.
Rather have us out there during the summer to see some airplanes or something, who knows? You might want to think about it.
There was some discussion about the month of April. So, I mean, if you have objection to that, we certainly will take that in.
No.
Okay. Okay, good. All right, further comment? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Let the record show that April 17th, 9 o'clock a.m., BOCC meeting will be at Silver West Airport. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate that.
Although this has been etched in stone, doesn't mean we can't re-etch it.
Yeah, hopefully we will. That's exactly right. Other discussion, gentlemen, concerning the total BOCC meeting schedule. Public comment? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Let the record show the 2019 BOCC meeting schedule has been adopted as presented. As amended, thank you, yes. 2019 BOCC county appointments.
Move that we approve the BOCC point of contacts 2019.
It's not the point of contacts though, sir.
You are...
Point of
the board
contacts,
appointments.
yeah,
Okay.
point of contacts have gone no further. And I'm trying to scramble to find mine. 2019 board appointments, did you see that, Doc? Yeah, you've got it, okay. So, would you restate your motion then, sir?
That's last year's.
Yes.
And there are some changes that need to be made.
Absolutely.
This is what we're going to accept. So I'm not ready to go ahead and...
Move to accept yet?
Right.
Okay. So by consent then, gentlemen, maybe we can analyze the board appointments and then subsequent motion afterwards. You okay with that? Because there are definitely some changes. So with that, we'll go down through the list then. You all have a copy of the board appointments. The document I have starts with the Upper Ark Area Council of Governments Board. Commissioner Prince has been the appointee. I wonder if we couldn't take a chunk of these and instead of voting on every one, or do you want to vote on them individually, or can we do consent, or how would you prefer to do that? There's 50 or 60 of them to go
I think we ought to do it by the group, and then if there's an exception to it, we can flag it out.
I would say let's talk about the changes that are presented
and then go back.
and then go back and do a blanket. I think that would
All
be
right.
acceptable.
Do you anticipate a change, gentlemen, on COG?
I'm happy to continue
Okay.
on that.
Recycling board?
I'm fine.
Okay, I'm sure Dennis is okay with that. Workforce Investment Board, myself, Mr. Bogle, Mr. Steigerwalt. I don't see any changes there. Southern Colorado Economic Development District, there is a change there. Marilyn Stadola no longer lives in the county.
Correct.
So that will be a deletion there.
Correct. That's the SCED.
Yes.
Can we leave that as a vacant spot so that if someone
Yeah, it
in the
needs
future
to
comes
have
forward
Yep.
and says
It is a
they'd like to
vacancy.
serve
Yep,
on that, I
sure
think an
can.
additional person. would
So
be
I'll
good.
just type in vacant.
Yep.
Airport Board, obviously we have some gentlemen here from the Airport Board. Our records here show, and certainly jump in if they do not reflect your desires, that you had one vacancy. And so if that was to, well, I'm talking about our records here. I know these are not accurate, but right now, our records show that you have a vacancy, a term of which would expire in 2022. You've recommended somebody for that?
We sent a whole list.
Yes,
You did.
got it, and we have that. So,
Okay, so can I read the list and
yes,
make that
let me
recommendation?
You'll have to
make some,
You making that an update there, Tom?
this is gonna be the updated one, yes.
Okay, then we'll have to put in what they've got.
Yeah, so go ahead.
Okay, this is per the airport board.
Okay.
Mr. Jolly here.
Can you give the
I'm gonna
terms?
give the terms
Okay.
to you.
2020.
The recommended appointees are Robert Jolly, expires 2020. Lynn Legree, expires 2022.
Well, okay, 2022, is that correct?
Yes.
I had 21 here for some reason. Okay,
Dan Green, 2020, expires 2020.
okay, hold on just a second. Okay,
Bob Giacomelli, 2021, expires.
huh, 1 of 21,
2021.
2021 is what I have.
January of 2021.
I'm just reading Mr. Jolly's letter.
Okay, and just for a point of clarification, sir. So these terms, you understood those to expire January, okay, because none of these dates were coinciding with what we had. So Mr. Giacomelli is
21.
21, okay?
Right.
That's January the 1st, right?
Yes.
Trey Croskell, 2022.
Okay, hold on just a second. Croskil.
Croskell.
Okay, 22, all right.
Brian Anderson, expires 2022.
Okay,
Jim Van Buskirk,
Here's how you spell it.
yeah.
You got him on.
expires
No, I do not.
Jim. Man.
2022, you said?
2021.
Brian Anderson.
Brian Anderson's with 22, and he was, Buskirk is the 2021.
Jim Van Buskirk is 2021.
Okay,
And then the airport board is recommending 2 ex officio non-voting members. Eric Vickery, expiring on 2022, January 2022. And the one and only lady,
okay, hold on just a second, sir, if you don't mind. Gosh dang it. You get in a hurry, or I get in a hurry, nothing
sorry.
works. 122,
yes sir,
okay. And your last one?
Sharon Connolly,
AR or ER?
CONNOLLY,
first name.
Connolly.
Sharon, I should have looked at these before the
No
meeting,
problem.
sorry. I looked at them, but not recently. 21 there.
21.
That's correct. And that's the recommendations from the airport board. Did I miss any, Mr. Kelly?
So let me read then what I have. I'm assuming the numbers fit within your bylaws here.
Yes.
So Mark Jolly, 120. Brian Anderson, 122. Dan Green, 120. Lynn Legree, 122. Dallas Anderson
No,
No.
is
no.
not.
Brian Anderson.
Brian Anderson.
I've got Brian. I'm deleting Dallas Anderson.
Dallas
Sorry.
is rotating off, and we thank you for your
Yeah,
service.
Dallas just
Thank you, sir. Went off the
heaved a
board.
sigh of relief.
Trey Croskell, 122, Robert Giacomelli, 121.
Right.
Jim Van Buskirk, 121.
Correct.
Eric Vickery, 122.
Ex
Sharon,
officio.
yes, thank you. And according to your bylaws, ex officio members are non-voting, is that correct?
That's correct.
Eric Vickery, ex officio, 122. Sharon Conley, ex officio, 121.
Okay.
Good?
Correct.
Okay, move on. 911 Authority Board, myself, Commissioner Canada. I believe we're all right with that.
I'm fine. I go to all those meetings, but it's fine if you want
Right.
to contact.
Custer Emergency Service, CES, Commissioner Canada, Commissioner Prince. Action 22, Commissioner Canada, Commissioner Flower, Commissioner Prince, Bob, Chuck Steigerwalt, Charles Bogle.
Yep.
Colorado Film Commission, Commissioner Prince, Commissioner Flower, Marilyn Hennessy. I don't anticipate any changes there.
No, except I keep waiting for a contract for me to start to come in because there's not one of them has come this last year.
The reason they haven't is because it's a conflict of interest. You're TPPR, Transportation Planning Region.
Perry
Commissioner-
Prince, we call him.
Yeah, Commissioner Canada. Scenic Byways, Commissioner Canada. Southern Colorado RETAC, Elizabeth Archuleta, Alyssa Magnuson, Dave Tonsing. Probably should now become Kit Shy.
I think that's
I
correct.
haven't had that conversation, but it's the fire chief's
Right.
position, so we will put Kit Shy in there. These are obviously one-year terms. I failed to say that. Cindy Howard, Office of Emergency Management. Larry Weber, Search and Rescue. I'm not sure about that. I should have followed up on that, but I don't think he is. Let's put a Bacon in there for Search and Rescue, please,
Okay.
instead of Larry Weber.
Instead of Larry,
Yes. He has,
why don't we put Vic and Dash Search and Rescue, because I think Search and Rescue needs a voice in that.
yeah, lead Search and Rescue, absolutely, yeah. It's a representative slot. The Director of the Ambulance Licensure and Inspection is that Southern Colorado RETAC
Same thing.
group. Planning Commission, we've got some changes there. Gentlemen, if you could pull that up, or I can, but I'd like to stay on this document if we may.
I did. I'll get it for you. Planning Commission. Here it is. Okay, this is what I have. This is from Jackie Hobby.
Okay,
Okay, the board members to renew for the Planning Commission for a 3-year term. Please consider the following appointees. Robert Donnelly,
okay, so those all would become 22 because they're 19s right now. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Vic Barnes,
Okay,
Pat Bailey,
all right, sir.
and Dale Mullen.
Okay, so those would become 122s.
Correct.
Save this before I goof something up. Anything else
No,
for
just
planning?
Ken
And then the
Patterson.
BZA, we'll get to that, yeah.
to that.
Okay, so we're good there?
Yep.
Dale Mullen, 122, Pat Bailey, 122, Vic Barnes, 122, Bill Donnelly, 122, Patrick Lynch, 120, Keith Hood, 120, Mike Shields, 120.
Correct.
Okay. All right, we'll move on to Board of Zoning Adjustment.
Okay.
I believe Ken Patterson was recommended.
Right, for a 3-year term.
3-year term.
Okay, so that becomes a 22. So BZA, Ken Patterson, Senior, 122, Gene Canterbury, 121, Brad Hartbauer, 120, Lockett Pittman, 120, Mike Carter, 121.
Right.
Associates to the PC and BZA,
The 5 board members are alternate position for the Planning Commission and Board of Zoning Adjustments for a 1-year term. N Skip Northcross,
okay, becomes a 120.
1 year. And Darrell Windland,
Winland,
1-year term. That's submitted by Jackie.
okay. Lance Ingram is no longer on that.
Correct.
We'll delete him. And James Heath is no longer on that board. So we have 2 alternates. Skip Northcross, 120, Darrell Winland, 120. Does that
That's it.
coincide with the information that Jackie provided us? Thank you.
Yep.
Custer County Tourism Board. Just hold the document on that.
There,
Okay.
let's pull it up.
Okay, you just have the letters. Okay.
On this.
I have a print copy if you need.
Okay. I think we should have them.
I have it. Just put my fingers on it. Maybe faster and easier if we take Angie's.
I got 25 documents on my
Yeah, that's
computer
what I'm looking
screen
at.
for
Angie,
this
if you-
meeting,
if you
so
have
it's
it, would you
easy to
mind
get
coming up
something
here?
lost.
I'll just read it from yours.
There it is, I think. Unless that's just the letters.
All I have is
Yeah, this is, I kind of put a summary
list.
together. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You just need, each need one?
No, that's fine. Might give Brenda one, but
Yeah.
Okay.
we certainly have received the letters from these individuals.
Yeah, they're all okay.
Okay, so hold on just a second, Sarah. Okay, Tourism Board, 3-year terms.
If it's okay, can I just read it with the expiration dates that I have? Or I can go, I'll go with the 3-year terms, that's fine.
Well, I'm just,
Good.
yeah, that would be the new expiration dates.
Okay. Jenny Anderson expires 2022.
Okay, hold on just a second. Jenny or Jennifer?
It's written here as Jenny, but I believe it is correct,
Okay,
Jennifer.
1/22,
Yes, sir.
okay,
That is the only one I see for 3 years.
okay.
Yes, that's correct.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Renee Smith, is that ex officio, is that 3-year term?
Yes,
Okay. You're recommending her?
yes. No, that's a one-year term?
It's a 1 year.
That's,
1 year.
Yeah, per bylaws.
so that would go to 120.
I was going to do ex officios last.
Okay, sorry.
That's fine, any way you want to do it.
I was
You're the
just
boss.
going up the list. You go and I'll,
Okay. This is for regular voting board members. Ex officios are not voting members of this
Correct.
committee. Charlie Ellison expires January 2020.
that's right, that's not a change, is that?
Okay. Deb Adams, 121. Becky Collins, 121. Angie Arterburn, 121.
And Marlis Hartbauer resigned, so that's not a vacancy,
Yep.
but just she is no longer on that board.
Okay, this is a little bit confusing the way I'm reading this. I have 2 ex officios. One is Renee Smith, a 1-year term, January 2020. But I also show Angie Arterburn as ex officio for a 1-year term.
They were not aware of the letter of the 3-year term?
Okay, then I would say let's ignore that ex
Yeah,
officio.
we'll deal with that when we go back, huh? Okay.
And we're going to ignore the ex officio Angie and leave you on as a 3-year member.
I thought we just said she's 121.
Angie Arterburn, 121, 3-year
Correct.
member, yeah.
Correct. 121.
21 or 22?
You said 21.
21 because, wait a minute, the letter...
Was 18, the letter was dated 18, so 21's correct.
2021
Yeah.
is correct.
January
So it's 2
4,
more years.
2018 is when we
Right.
appointed you.
That's correct.
Okay, good.
So it just stays the same.
Jenny Anderson, voting or ex officio?
She's
Who?
voting,
Full voting member?
yeah.
And the only ex officio member, according to what I have,
Renee
would be
Smith.
Renee Smith. Is
Right.
that correct?
Yeah, and Jenny, you guys will now be officially, she's not official on it when she's
Right.
later on.
Yeah, we're gonna go through these and then we'll come back and vote
Right.
on them.
Right. We're just getting the list right at the moment.
And Charlie's still on there?
Yes.
Group 20?
Charlie's on there, 120, yes. Okay, we'll move on. West Custer County Library Board.
I believe that's done already.
They did do that.
Yes.
Only question I had was Jim Gearhart.
That was one of them that you approved
Is he
on
still?
the 18th of December.
Are those 3-year terms? So that would become a 21.
Yes.
President of that board, Dave Heppy, 1220. Debbie Rabinowitz, Vice President, 1220. Amy Bauer, Treasurer, 1219. Bar Scott, Secretary, 1219. Member Jim Gearhart, 1221. J.D. Henrich, Member, 1221. And Renee Tobin, 1220. Good there, gentlemen?
Yep.
Extension Advisory Committee, I'm going to recommend that we postpone this. We just brought on our new extension agent. I have not had the opportunity to get with her yet and get this board back up and running. I can run through those, although I think you gentlemen
I
have seen
think
a copy
she
of
ought
them.
to have a shot.
So if it's all right with you, I would prefer to wait, and I'll work with her if that's all right.
Yep.
I can tell you that Kyle Evans would be ex officio on that board, representing the ag program, and Guinevere Nelson will be on that board, ex officio, representing extension. And then we had 2, 4, 6 members whose terms are expired, so we could ask Mr. Hedberg, but we're supposed to get letters from everybody. This advisory committee met once last year, to my knowledge. I sat in on that meeting. It's been kind of in limbo, so we'll formalize that. Yeah, that's right. So you all right with that, gentlemen, by consent? We'll postpone that.
I'm fine.
Thank you. Fair Board, I believe we've gotten communication to have 2 terms. Alicia Shy has resigned off of that board. So I believe that leaves Marlissa Gonzalez.
That is a vacant.
Pardon me?
Should we put Ms. Cheyenne as a vacant?
Yeah. And then I'll find out what the Fair Board wants to do about that. I don't believe they're recommending anybody to take that position, but did we get a recommendation on Marlissa Gonzalez? I know we had a packet from the Fair Board.
These are what they meant. There she is.
Oh, you know what? I did follow up with that. Let me pull that up real quick. If you take just a second. I contacted the president of the Fair Board and asked her about that, what their intent was, because it wasn't very clear.
I have the list in front of me if you like.
Yeah, but it doesn't have Marlissa Gonzalez currently, so let me pull
This
up
is
that
not the same.
email.
Saying, yeah.
She got
No,
different time.
that term has expired, so give me just a second.
Bless you.
Okay, I sent her an email and said, I'll just read it verbatim. Hi Diana, are we supposed to appoint Marlissa for another 3-year term? I see her term expires in 19, so I assume you would want us to appoint her until 22. She responded and said, yes, that's correct. So based on that,
So it goes to 122.
122. And so, other than adding, not other, I will add Mr. Kyle Evans. And that's ex officio as well. And
He's FFA.
yes, CSU extension, Gwen Nelson. That's ex officio also, and I speak based on conversations with both of those people and the presidents of both of those boards. They wanted them on their Extension Advisory Committee, and the Fair Board wanted to reciprocate those ex officio positions for both of those people. So moving on to the Weed Board. I'm going to move to postpone here, sir.
I think so. I did not see.
All we got is
We had two.
There's a whole packet.
Okay,
packets.
I'm just not pulling mine up, so.
We got their packet.
Okay, these two for sure, Roger and Bill Donnelly.
Bill Donnelly,
So we can, those are at large.
2019.
It has Roger Squire verbal request to be on the board
Yep.
for 2019.
Squire.
Miss Katie.
And Brenda's gonna go spray weeds.
Brenda Katie requests to be on the board for 2019.
Okay. So that would be 120, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Clint Smith, whoever he is.
I don't know who that character is.
Potted plant.
If I watch him, he'll put his foot under a trailer, spraying the weeds.
I've got Clint Smith, 20.
Right.
CDOT. Or just tell me whatever order you have.
So the order is, Laura, Lene, I should say.
Yeah. Linnea Laura, 20.
19, she says here. 2019.
Well, for the year 2019.
That's what I meant.
Expire 120.
Yep.
Okay.
That's right.
Sharon Perry.
20.
We have a request from her.
Yes, we do. But she
Yes.
doesn't have a date on it.
I'm looking at an actual email that she sent to Brenda on
Right.
December.
Yeah, there's no date on
Yeah,
it.
and that's, they knew it was a 1-year term.
Yeah.
Dick Downey,
Roger's in twice.
Roger Gregg,
Yeah.
Right there again.
and Roger Squire. So Roger Gregg, 20.
Roger Gregg and
20.
then Roger Squire.
Okay, got it.
And Dick Downey.
And Dick Downey, you have him.
When you're done, you need to send that out because I'm not.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So that leaves Dan Garrison. That's CDOT, I think that's automatic position there, and same with Forest Service. Gentlemen, you're all right with that?
I'm fine with that.
I also had a discussion, bear with me just a second.
How we showing our?
Miss Brenda,
Yes.
representative from San Isabel Land Protection Trust, Linda Poole, yes.
Oh, yeah.
That group had asked to bring her on as ex officio as well.
I'm fine.
Commissioner Canada, you all right with that?
Yeah.
Kate's been out.
Is Jana Rapetti from Fremont County, is she going to be on the week?
No. Miss Brenda, did I hear you say something back there?
Just that I still had Kate Spinelli in
Right,
there.
and that's a deletion, correct?
Right.
Yeah. Linda
So
Poole,
Linda takes your.
that's exactly right. Okay, so Clint Smith, 120, Arlie Garrison, 120, CDOT, Bill Donnelly, 120. Dick Downey, 120. Jeff Uthier, 120. U.S. Forest Service. Roger Gregg, 120. Sharon Berry, 120. Roger Squire, Road and Bridge, Chairman, 120. Brenda Gady, 120. Linda Poole, San Isabel Land Protection Trust, ex officio, 120. And Linnea Laura, 120.
Just
Reasonable? Go ahead.
Just curious, why is Miss Poole, what, is she ex officio because she wanted to? Or was there a
She
reason
was
for
certainly willing to be ex officio, but they would be over their number according to their bylaws, so I can't bring her on as a voting member.
that? No problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
What more Community Center Board. 1-year terms, Alden Gray. I'll give you a minute to pull those docs up. Gentlemen, I'm not pulling mine up, I apologize.
I have mine in front of me.
Okay.
Got Ruth Spar.
So you go down your list. My list is probably different than yours.
This is an email from Ms. Spar.
Okay,
Alden Gray,
these are all 120s, correct?
right. John Spar. Ruth Spar.
Hold on just a
Sorry.
second, sir. John, Ruth. Okay,
Ruth.
Ruth Roper.
Margie White.
Oops. Okay, that's new.
Okay.
We're on the Community Center Board, correct?
Right, correct.
I'm on the community center board, yes, sir, not the library.
Okay, all right, just wanted to make sure there.
W-H-I-T-E.
Thank you, sir, appreciate that. 120. Okay.
Nancy Kruger.
Cruz.
Kruger.
Kruger.
It's
K-R.
Cruz.
Cruz.
K-R-E-U-Z.
Yeah, we got
I don't know why they
K-R-U-E-G-E-R, but it's Cruz, correct? K-R-U.
K-R-E-U-Z.
Okay. It's
120.
in the email.
Yeah.
Ready?
You get from Ruth? Yeah, Ruth Spar had it as Kruger. Yes, I am.
Nan Davenport.
Don't really know that person very well.
Would be nice.
Oh, that's right, she's here.
And Courtney, whoever she is.
And Courtney
Or he.
Davenport.
And that rough character she lives with, he must have left. See him. Okay?
And Ruth Roper.
Okay.
Yes, anybody?
All 1-year terms, correct? Okay. So we have Alden Gray, President, 120. John Spar, Vice President, 120. Ruth Spar, Secretary Treasurer, 120. Ruth Roper, 120. Nancy Cruz, 120. Courtney Davenport, 120. Nan Davenport, 120. Margie White, 120.
Yep.
Okay. Wetmore Community Library, again, 1-year terms, gentlemen.
Okay, I've got it in front of me.
Okay.
Jerry Draper, President.
Okay.
Julie Skinner, Secretary.
Okay.
Bernadette Castillo, Treasurer.
Okay.
Joy Iden.
Member, 120.
Yes.
Okay.
And Mary Abrams.
Okay. Abrahams or Abrams?
Abrams.
Abrams, A-B-R-A-H.
We need to speak to Miss,
A-M-S.
Abra.
Okay, hold on just a second.
This is 1-year terms submitted by none other than our fabulous
Illustrious.
Nan Davenport.
Okay. Did we get Ruth Spar?
Ruth was not on
not
my
on
list. Is she? She's not. Okay.
So that's a delete. Who's the secretary of that board?
That is Julie Skinner.
Julie Skinner.
Skinner is
So that-
Treasurer's Castillo.
All right, let's back up then.
Okay. Let me start again.
President,
Jerry.
Jerry
Jerry
Draper.
Draper.
Vice President,
Julie Skinner.
Julie Skinner.
I'm sorry, there is no vice president
Well, yeah,
listed.
that's right. Julie
Sorry.
Skinner's the secretary.
Secretary.
Is this exciting for the audience?
yes, gotta be, gotta be.
Tremendous.
It's like watching grass grow.
All right, so
Surely you're about to the end.
you do not have a current vice president. Okay.
Correct.
Treasurer, Bernadette.
Castillo.
Correct.
Ruth Spar, member, or does she have an office?
No, she's
Not on it.
Not on the board.
Pull her.
She's
She's
running.
no
that's a-
longer on the
Okay,
board.
all right. Okay. So you have a vacancy as vice president, that's correct? Okay. Nan Davenport, 120,
Nan Davenport, that's not a, are you a member?
director.
You are
I actually am
director.
not a voting member.
Not a voting member.
I answer to them.
Okay. So,
Okay, it's written in here as director. Shall we
Wetmore
put-
Community
Well,
Library.
that's my title. but-
Right, I'm more interested in the voting rights, so is it okay
Yeah.
if I make that ex officio?
Yes.
Okay.
right.
So, do you set in on those board meetings?
Absolutely.
Okay, so Nan Davenport, ex officio, 120. Jerry Draper, 120. President?
Wait.
Whoop.
Yep, go, sorry.
Bernadette Castillo, 120 treasurer.
Right,
Julie Skinner, 120 secretary.
right.
If I can spell.
Julie, did you say that or did you say Judy?
I said Julie,
Correct, thank you.
misspelled secretary. Joy Iden, 120.
Correct.
Mary Abrahams, 120.
Abrams, actually, you know, Jay was saying it.
They spelled it
Abrams.
with a
Is it
A-H. She did.
Spelled as Abrams, or is it spelled as Abrahams? 'Cause
It's spelled as Abrahams,
Okay.
but you say Abrams.
Abrams,
Oh,
okay.
okay, so the spelling's right.
So we get the spelling correct. And,
Yeah.
all right, very good. Attainable Housing Board, 1-year terms, gentlemen. Counselor, you doing okay, sir?
I'm doing fine.
Good. Yes,
Correct me
ma'am.
if I'm wrong, but did you not appoint attainable housing members at
Yeah, we don't have that.
a few months ago?
It's what you show there, I think, Tom.
Yeah.
We need to update their terms.
Yeah.
So Charles Bogle becomes a 120 chairman.
Right.
They're all 120.
Maddie Burt, I'm assuming that she is
She's retaining.
still on that. I haven't seen her in the meeting. Mike Carter,
Yes.
Tony Delaney.
Right. Question mark with Wendy Rusk, does anybody heard from her? Is she staying on or rotating?
She's not on my list here. My understanding is no, but I
I
haven't.
thought she was
Not on
rotating
attainable
off.
housing.
I don't think she is.
Steve Laswell, 20. I would assume they will go after Mr. Gilmore in her stead, but I don't know that. Monty Lee, 120.
Yep,
Mike Liebman, 120.
yep,
Terry Munson, 120.
right.
Autumn Deaver, representing Upper Arkansas Area Council of Governments. They have her on their board as an ex officio unless there's a tie, and she has the authority to vote in a tiebreaker situation.
Right.
Okay, we good there, gentlemen?
Yep,
Enterprise Zone, Charles Bogle
yep,
becomes a 120.
yep.
Revolving loan rep for the Upper Arkansas Area Council of Governments. I'm going to assume Wendy Rusk will probably, let's put a Bacon in there. You all right with that, gentlemen?
I'm fine.
I'm assuming that will be filled.
I'd be
but-
happy to have her on there if she decides to return.
Okay. Charles Bogle, alternate. Paul Winkie, alternate. Those would be 120s. Commissioner Candy, you all right?
Yep.
Arkansas Basin Roundtable rep, Keith Hood.
Yep, 20.
Yep. I've tried to attend those meetings with him, but I don't think I need to be a rep on that. Bear with us, folks. Okay, so,
Before we do,
yes.
on the affordable housing, could you put me down as the contact for that group?
Point of contact, you want it on this list or in point of contacts?
Well, we have the three of us on multiples above that. I don't really care if we put it on here. No, it's fine, we'll put it on that. No problem.
My thinking on that? And I certainly don't have a problem doing it as long as we make it very clear that I'm not a voting member, and that was our whole intent.
That's
Initially, we can sure put it in there.
Well, I was thinking point of contact, but
Yeah,
that's fine.
Let me
That's
defer
kinda
to that. Let me go to that point of
Yeah.
contact list real quick. Sorry. See what we have there. Attainable housing, yes. We have that under the point of
Okay,
contacts.
I'm good, thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go back then, gentlemen, if you don't mind, and
What about the poor airport guys?
airport guys.
Oh, because they're sitting there.
How
Nancy.
about the top four appointments? Upper council governments, recycling, workforce, and SCED. Can we vote on those as a group?
Sure.
I would move that we approve the appointments to the UA COG, Recycling Board, Investment Board, Workforce Investment Board, and Southern Colorado Economic Development District. Moved and seconded to approve those appointments for those 4 boards. Discussion, public comment. Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
And I will move that we accept what the next in line is, that would be the Southern Colorado Economic Development District Rep.
Nope,
That one was.
that was
Or that was
included
there,
in
sorry,
those,
that was
so
vacant,
you're-
yeah, that, I'm sorry.
yeah.
Airport Board,
Airport, yeah.
Okay.
as it was presented.
Okay,
911 Board, Authority
Okay.
Board, the Custer Emergency Service, and
okay,
the Action 22.
okay, very
I'll
good.
second that.
Been moved and seconded to appoint the aforementioned members to the Airport Board, 911 Authority Board, Custer Emergency Service Board, Action 22. Is there discussion?
No, sir.
Do we need to identify that Commissioner Kanda is on that as a Board of Director?
The 911 Authority Board, we had that discussion, I think it's legit. Because we're not,
I'm just asking.
we're not controlling
I'm
them.
not sure I know which one you're talking about.
I was talking about Action 22.
Oh, Action
Commissioner
22.
Kanda sits on that Board
Yeah,
of
I'm on the
Directors.
Board of
I am
Directors.
not on the board. I wonder if we shouldn't identify that.
You know,
Oh, I
think
see
we
what you're
should.
saying.
We ought to put Bill Kanda as board member, and then
Right.
Tom Flower, Jay
Okay.
Prince, Chuck Steigerwall, and George
Right.
Bogle. I think that's appropriate.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Had enough.
Had enough coffee.
Where's the newspaper? Yeah, just make sure we get that, okay? So we've
Take a picture.
kind of amended that then to, all we did really was add, signify Commissioner Kanda as a board member.
Correct.
And then the same question for 911 Authority Board. You're a co-chair of that, correct?
Right.
So I would say that we, I don't know how, if we need
I
to
don't
do
think
that
it's
or not.
necessary.
I think it
Okay.
matters.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Further discussion on these 4 gentlemen?
No.
Hearing none, public comment?
We dare you.
Gosh! Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor?
We dare you to say.
I know, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. 911 Authority Board, Custer Emergency Service, Action 22, and the Airport Board members have been approved. Okay, we'll move on. Film Commission. I would move that we approve the Colorado Film Commission, Transportation Planning Region, Scenic Byways.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the members aforementioned on Colorado Film Commission, TPPR, and Scenic Byways. Discussion.
To include Perry Prince,
Perry Prince,
Perry Mason Prince.
Perry Mason Prince. On public comment? Put it! Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Let the record show for those 3. Colorado Film Commission, TPPR, and Scenic Byways. Let's see. Let's do the next 2, gentlemen. You okay with that? I would move that the appointments for Southern Colorado RETAC and their alternates and the director of the ambulance licensure inspection.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded to approve the members for Southern Colorado RETAC reps and director of ambulance licensure. Discussion. Public comment. Hearing none, proceed to
Wait,
vote.
before you do that.
Yes, sir.
The RETAC reps, we just attend that as we can, right?
Pardon me?
Commissioners
Yeah,
attend
we're
that
not
as
on
we can,
that.
we're
That's
not on it,
correct.
right?
No. No.
Good with me.
Oh, yeah, certainly. I couldn't tell you when their meetings are, but hearing no further discussion, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. All in favor of accepting our attorney back in? No.
Okay.
All right. Planning Commission and BZA and associates to the BZA, gentlemen, if you don't mind.
I move we accept the Planning Commission as presented and the Board of Zoning
Okay.
Adjustment
And their associates.
and their associates. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded to appoint the aforementioned members of Planning Commission, Board of Zoning Adjustment, and associates to the Planning Commission and BZA. Discussion. Hearing, I do have a little discussion. Maybe this is a clerical thing. Ms. Brenda?
Yes.
I see Mike Shields in parentheses 10/18/18. I'm assuming that's when he came on.
Yes. Do you just want me to remove that?
That's what I'm wondering. We just take that out of there. I don't think
It's on the
Doesn't matter.
2018 one, so.
Yeah, I don't think it's pertinent to that, so I'm going to go ahead and remove it on this list as well. Further discussion. Public comment. Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Let the record show we've appointed members to the Planning Commission, BZA, and associates to the PC and BZA.
You guys are lucky. Last year we went name by name, so
Oh,
Yeah, I was scared.
we learned.
Yeah.
you had chips and salsa and beer then.
Right. Oh, I've got.
That's why we had the cake first.
Tourism
Soften you up,
board.
make you sleep.
I move that we approve the tourism board as presented, and also the West Custer County Library Board as presented.
I'll second that. It's been moved and seconded to approve the aforementioned members, Custer County Tourism Board and West Custer County Library Board. Discussion. I do have some. I think we know this, but I want it on the record. Let me grab another document real quick. January 24th, 2018, the Board of County Commissioners appointed Angie Arterburn as a member for a 3-year term. There was some misunderstanding and some confusion about that. We did the research. Thank you,
Yes.
Angie, for helping us out there. She has been on that board. She was the only person on that board for a while when we were in flux, and so we appreciated her keeping that functioning as best she could, being a single member. But we did appoint her for a 3-year term. That is a full voting rights term. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody understands that that's exactly where we're at.
And the library board you appointed in December.
Yes, the library board had been,
Right,
that's
well, the
why
right
they're
date's
on
there
12s
now.
instead of 1s.
Right. So
Because their terms do expire.
But we do need to
December.
approve them.
Yeah, we'll approve them, but I'm just in discussion on the tourism board. So Angie Arterburn, 121, until the gavel drops, she was appointed as an ex officio member, which is where part of the confusion came. So we're rescinding that appointment as ex officio member, putting you on that board as a voting member, and move forward with your term scheduled to expire in 121.
thank you.
Further debate, discussion, public comment. Well, I gotta be careful because the last of my OC, okay, and the last 3 on the library board are on the next page down. So and it's the last, you gotta be careful because I thought there were only those 4, but we're good. Public comment. Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor of the aforementioned on tourism board and the West Custer Library Board, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries. Again, I move to postpone on recommend we postpone. I don't know that we need a vote there, but yeah, let's do. I would move we postpone the appointments on the Extension Advisory Board.
I'll second it.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say, and I need to either postpone definitely or indefinitely.
Well, you gotta
say
have, I
we'll
was gonna say, you
postpone
can table it
until-
or you postpone.
Yeah, I'll postpone it until the February.
Here. Somewhere.
Well,
You want the new?
yeah, that's where I was headed, but
I got it here somewhere.
I think it's 5th
There
and
it is.
6th, correct? Yeah, I'll move to postpone that till February the 5th. Miss Brenda,
Okay.
appointments for the Extension Advisory Board. If I get a second.
I'll
Second.
second it.
It's been moved and seconded that we postpone until February 5th the appointments of the Extension Advisory Board. Discussion?
Let's make sure that they're aware that they have a deadline too.
Yes. Yeah, I will do that. And really the deadline was more for me to get off the stick and get that group put together, but they've been asking.
I didn't say who
No, I
that
know.
was
Didn't.
for.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sorry, public comment, gentlemen, I apologize. I got you jumpy now, don't I, with this gavel? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion passes. We'll postpone until January 5 on the, or February 5 on the Extension Advisory Board. Fair Board and Weed Board. Let's see where we're at here. Yeah, let's do those two, please.
Yeah, two more. I move we accept the Fair Board members as presented and the Weed Board Advisory Board for their terms as presented.
Okay, thank you.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded to approve the aforementioned members on the Fair Board and the Weed Advisory Board. Discussion, public comment. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries. Wetmore Community Center Board and
I'll
the
move
Cinnamon Bear Eater. Are we going to approve the Cinnamon Bear Eater while we're here today, or? Go ahead, sir. You
I move
pick.
that we approve the Wetmore Community Center
I'll
Board
second it too.
and the Wetmore Community Library Board as presented.
Okay. Been
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the aforementioned members of the Wetmore Community Center Board, Wetmore Community Library Board. Discussion? Public comment? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. I would move that we accept the proposed members for the Enterprise Zone, the revolving, Upper Arkansas Area Council of Governments revolving loan rep, which has to be vacant, and the Arkansas Basin Roundtable representative, Keith Hood.
And the Affordable Housing Committee.
Oh, then I skipped by attainable housing, and I would include that in my motion as well. So attainable housing, enterprise zone, revolving loan, and Arkansas, lower Arkansas. Well, it's not really the lower Arkansas, it is the Arkansas Basin Roundtable. Discussion? Oh, it's been moved and seconded to approve the aforementioned members of those four boards. Discussion? Public comment? Surely you want to comment on the the Arkansas Basin Roundtable. About 60 people sat in on that deal. I've attended a couple of those. It is wild.
Let's not go there.
Yeah. Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Wow. Thank you, gentlemen. That's a bunch. Miss Brenda, I'm going to send this document to you. I know you've been doing it as well. But that way we have a... Well, I was going to send it to you.
You just sent it into bit heaven.
Yeah. Well, it better still be right here around the trouble. Okay.
Russia's already acted.
Pardon? Oh, teasing? No. You had enough of this? 'Cause we're just getting started.
He was snoring.
I just said Russia's already acted.
Yes, sir.
Can I recommend that we do the newspaper of record appointment next in lieu of the regional appointments, because one of the appointments we're going to make is for the publications.
Right.
So it makes sense to go ahead and approve them before we do that.
Commissioner Candy, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good with
All right,
this.
so we'll move on to the legal publication bids. Newspaper of record, group of pleasure.
The New York Times.
And let me, for the audience's sake, we opened the bids at our last meeting and postponed our well, we didn't postpone it, we scheduled action on that to this meeting.
It had to be published or something.
I would move that we select the Wet Mountain Tribune as the newspaper of record based on the bids that we received.
I second that.
Been moved and seconded to appoint Wet Mountain Tribune as the newspaper of record. Discussion.
I would just like to point out that there were several levels of bids that were made, and all of them were lower by the Wet Mountain Trib. So this was a very, not a controversial decision.
Okay, good. Further discussion? Public comment? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor of selecting Wet Mountain Tribune as a newspaper of record, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you, sir, for bringing that to our attention.
Thank you.
Pretty sharp.
Regional appointments.
I move that we accept the following appointments for 2019. I'm going to go ahead and read them because I think they should be in the
Okay,
record.
yes, sir.
Chairman Tom Flower, Vice Chair Bill Kanda, Commissioner Jay Prince, Clerk to the Board Kelly Camper, Administrative Assistant to the Board Brenda Gady, County Attorney Clint Smith, Road and Bridge Supervisor Gary Hyde, Assistant Supervisor West Cliff Roger Squire, Assistant Supervisor Wetmore Larry Haynes, Human Resources Finance Manager Donna Hobby, Custodian Stephanie Ibera, Scales Minor Maintenance Christopher Goebel, Human Resource Director Laura Lockhart, Publisher Wet Mountain Tribune, Secondary publication depending on issue is the Canyon City Daily Record, Pueblo Chieftain, and Florence Citizen in that order.
Do you want to add the Sentinel?
I think that would make very good sense. I would say let's put the Sentinel first, second, secondary, and then, thank you, Ms. And then Canyon City Record, then Pueblo Chieftain, and then Florence Citizen. That would be my motion. Bless you. Okay. Official posting place will be the bulletin board in the courthouse, Custer County, and the Custer County website. The official website will be custercountygov.com. Depositories will be the First State Bank of Colorado and Colorado Trust.
Colo Trust, sir.
Colo Trust, I apologize, you're
No
correct.
problem.
Yep. Planning and Zoning Director, Jackie Hobby. Code Enforcement, Jackie Hobby. Sanitarian, Jackie Hobby. IT Director, Vernon Roth. Public Health Nurse, Alyssa Magnuson.
Correction, sir.
Yeah.
Now live and good. Married name.
I apologize if you're watching.
Don't apologize. She's not watching. I'll guarantee you. They're on a
Okay,
cruise
never
on
mind. I
her.
did it on purpose
They're
now.
on a cruise on her honeymoon.
Never
so
mind.
if they are watching, they're weird.
Listen, live,
They're
yeah.
bored.
Yeah, listen live and good. Thank you,
Live
sir.
and good, my mistake.
No
And
problem. No, it was on there.
Corrected.
It was
Office
written
of
that way.
Emergency Management Director Cindy Howard. Veteran Services Office to be determined when we appoint that person.
Sir, if I may, I'd like to include Roger Watkins
Okay. Roger
as
Watkins.
interim officer.
That
And
sounds
then we
like-
can change it later. Is that okay?
Yep.
Then we don't have that as a blank?
Yep, Roger
Okay.
Watkins is the interim Veteran
you.
Service Officer, and the landfill supervisor, Rusty Christensen.
Okay. Yes, sir, appreciate that. Make a couple corrections here. Yeah, in your defense, her name was printed as Alyssa Magnuson, so,
Yeah, I should have known better.
well, I knew you knew, but, okay. I would move that we approve the regional appointments. Yes, ma'am?
He already made a motion.
Oh, we did?
A second.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll
I thought you were
second
just
it.
reading them. All right.
No, I was
Thank you,
doing
ma'am.
my motion.
Been moved and seconded to appoint the regional appointments for 2019 as stated by Commissioner Prince. Discussion. Public comment. Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Miss Brenda, you okay?
I am okay.
All right, thank you. Next item of business would be the disposal bids. For trash disposal, we received two, one from Oak Disposal and one from P-Bar O.
So what are we using as
Well,
our base?
before we have a motion, if I may, I'd like to ask,
Let's clarify.
get some clarifications, just so we're all on the same page. You okay with that, sir?
Sure.
Okay. Commissioner Prince, or Kendall?
Yes.
All right,
We
that-
need to clarify what we're looking at as a
Right, I'm
base.
confused.
Yeah. We have a representative from P-Bar O here today, so he can answer any questions you may have as well.
Looking for
The document hunt, you know?
I have the PRO one. Here's PRO.
Yeah, RE rates for, right? Oops, all right.
It's in the middle top row. If yours are show up the same as mine.
Not, no, I don't
think I
see
have
it
it.
either.
I did send it as
Oh, I'm sure you sent
an
it.
email.
I remember seeing it.
Yeah, he just
Wait a
didn't,
minute.
doesn't look like he got it loaded into his, oh,
No, that's PRO.
Okay.
I don't have that one.
Do you want to print out?
Would you please?
Yep.
Thank you, ma'am.
You know,
Both or just the one?
how do you
Just
want to
the
handle
vote.
this? Because I think
I
we
have
need to,
PRO
before
in
we
front of me.
vote, we can either vote and second it, and discuss it and fix it, or we can,
right,
I have a suggestion.
okay.
Is, we never, normally when you put an RFP out, your common baseline, this is what they bid to. And we got apples and oranges here.
You didn't do that, you know,
We didn't do it, and for example, even on the P-Bar, it's pretty simple, they have two things, but a 3-yard twice a week at 171, how does that compare with a 2-yard once per month? I mean, once a week, see, that in itself
Therein is my
it looks like it's
Well-
cheaper to go with a 3-yard one, but then how do you compare that
Just so
with
you
the
know,
other
I
bid?
think all we have is 2
2 yards,
yards and
that's-
once a week.
I know, so
So,
Yeah,
we
I
need to
think
probably
the-
redo it.
I
is
think
what
the
I would
bids we're
recommend.
concerned about are a 2-yard dumpster serviced once a week. There's one exception, I think. Was there one in Wetmore, different size or not? I don't remember, but,
P-Borough, you don't go to Wetmore, do you?
yeah, so.
How do we handle the
So my
airport?
thinking is this, we have a bid from both companies for a 2-yard dumpster serviced once a week. So we can make that comparison.
That would be okay. How do we handle
Can
the
I read
airport?
that?
Because don't we have to?
I don't think airport.
You guys
does
don't
I
have-
have
know,
a dumpster.
but we got somebody going out there gathering up trash once in a while.
That's
And they're
these
bringing it
guys.
in here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So-
Well,
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, for the record, the Oaks disposal for a 2-yard dumpster weekly was $81 a month.
Yes.
And P-Bar-O disposal is $67 per month for the same 2-yard dumpster one time per week. This one says P-Bar-O is in West Cliff, and
67.
Oak does not say that. It says these are all town rates only, so
Would be-
I would have to assume that West Cliff, they're meaning Silver Cliff also, and I don't know if P-Bar-O, their $67 is for Silver Cliff also. I just don't know the answer to that, because it's not.
The rep says it is.
It is? Okay, if it is, then,
Well, I think we've got apples to apples to compare here.
yeah,
on
we
the
have
2-yard
apples to
dumpster.
apples for the 2 yards,
Right,
and I think we could vote on that.
okay.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and I'll move that on the 2-yard dumpsters once a week in the 2 towns, the county accepts the proposal from P-Bar-O of $67 per month.
I'll second it. Then-
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept PBRO's disposal bid of $67 per month for a 2-yard dumpster serviced once a week. Discussion?
And what does Wetmore do? I know this isn't included, so it's okay.
I don't think we have a dumpster in Wetmore, do we, Miss Brenda?
I don't.
I don't
So-
think so.
I don't think so.
I'm not aware of one if we do, but
So it looks like P-Bar-O says they exclude that. and
I think,
Well, both of them say town rates on
the
the
one says Westcliff, so.
so can I add to the motion, if I can amend my motion, saying that other services will be, as needed, will be put out for bid, and the county will choose the lowest bid for any services
Yeah.
other than the 2-yard one
That's a
week
good
in the
idea.
towns.
Yeah. I'll second your amendment, if that's what you did.
It's been moved to amend the main motion by adding the words that the county will consider any further bids on a low bid process.
By
Fair
exception.
enough.
Thank you.
Discussion? Public comment? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote on the amendment, which states that the county will consider any further transactions on a low bid basis.
So we accept the $67.
No, this is just the
Just
amendment.
on the amendment. Oh, that's right.
Just a minute.
Go for it.
Public comment? Hearing none, proceed to vote on the amendment. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries. We'll now vote on the main motion, which states that we accept P. Bar O's disposals bid for a 2-yard one service once a week, bid of $67 per month, and that we will,
In both towns, please.
in both towns, and we will pursue any further
Needs.
business or needs based on a low bid.
Right.
Discussion? Public comment?
Starting.
That's a great question. Gentlemen, your pleasure starting when? This week?
So starting immediately.
I wouldn't wait.
As soon as,
We're always counting money.
We need to notify Oak Disposal.
Do we have a contract with them, or do we have any term limits with them, anything like that? And I think we should make it
What
effective.
day of the week?
Fridays when
Sure,
we
pickup day,
normally
Friday.
get.
It's a good question, thank you. Starting this week on Friday. Would direct our administrative assistant to notify both companies.
Um,
Go ahead.
okay, so there's one here, one at, Road Bridge.
Correct.
Does sheriff have one?
Yes.
I think they do. Yeah.
Twice a week they get votes.
So that's gonna go to a 2-yard once a week.
I don't know. Is that gonna be sufficient for their trash disposal needs?
They got
Because they're having a
Food
3-yard
services.
twice a week now, right? And we don't have, okay, here's, this, I think this would go into the second part of the motion that I made. Let's talk to the sheriff, find out if he in fact needs a 3-yard twice a week. If he does, I think we need to put that out for bid for both companies and the lowest one win. That would be the second part of what the motion was made.
Okay, then let's consider other things. If the county decides to put it at the airport, because the airport gets a cafeteria out there,
We'll deal with
we
it.
deal with that separately.
I would think so. Unless, if it's a 2-yard once a week. we've already
That's what I'm
decided
saying, we already accepted them as the bid.
If we know that
On
the
all
2-yard
county property.
On all county properties, the 2-yard once a week, that's established.
Right.
Any variance from that, I think we put out for bid. That would include if the sheriff has a
So we'll
3-yard.
have to ask him, and he can decide.
Right.
We'll
If he
deal with it.
feels a 2-yard once a week is sufficient, that's resolved. Anything else, we'd need to ask both companies to make an offer to us. Make sense?
Yep. See, I think
You
as it
look
is,
like
yeah,
your brain is frying right there.
Yeah, I'm having.
we
a
don't know
little-
that there's an exception yet until we're told. Right now, we can
And I'm
accept the
fine
bid as
having 2
is.
companies doing our trash business, if that's where you're going.
Yeah, I guess I'm assuming there's a 3-yard twice weekly
You have
dumpster
a
at the
3-yard?
sheriff's office, because that's what they need.
That's in the bid.
Well, that's right, it's in your bid, I don't know if Oak does. They must.
They do, because they're servicing it now, they just didn't include it in their bid, so. Let's see, we're in a motion here, aren't we?
You could close that out, Tom, and then re-vote on it next meeting. For the exception.
Further discussion? Public comment? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote on the motion, which states that we will accept PBROs, yes, sir? Have we already done this?
No.
Okay.
I saw smoke coming out of your ears,
Well,
and I
I-
was thinking, then you just ignored it. So
Yeah.
I was waiting to
He
hear your
just,
comment.
Because it would be out of order if I did.
he resolved.
I was trying to sort through whether it would be in order or not,
That's
so.
fine.
We'll proceed to vote on the motion which states that we will accept PBRO's bid, 2-yard dumpster serviced once a week, $67 a month.
At all county properties.
And, yeah, at all county properties, and that any further business be dealt with on a low bid process. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay, motion carries. Yeah, you're welcome, thank you. Thanks for being here. I would move that we contact Oak Disposal and get a bid for a 3-yard, 2 times a week
Do we
dumpster.
know it's
That's
a
certainly
3-yard
appropriate.
over there, or is it?
There is, but we need to look at that bid, and I have no idea how much we're paying for it.
Well, yeah, and I don't either, because I think they pay their own.
Sheriff's probably paying it. How do you
I
budget?
would think we, just suggestion,
It's like Shane.
I would think we probably ought to just ask the sheriff, what is your need? If he needs this, then we move forward on
Right.
who it is.
Okay.
I mean, that's
They
just
can
a
throw
thought.
it, right. They can leave. I don't know, does the sheriff have a contract with them for a certain amount of time?
Because it's cheaper to have 2.
Oak does contracts for certain amounts of time, do they?
Right now, you can throw another 2-yard in there.
But if you look
Get
at
by
Oak,
with
it would be cheaper to have 2 once a week than a 3-yard.
Could be.
It is.
Above it.
171
40.
by 6, yes.
40.
It's less expensive from
Sure.
there too. From,
$47.
Yeah, that is an odd bid.
that's why I'm suggesting
That's-
let's talk to the sheriff.
I just
Yeah.
let it go, and if he wants to put 2 there, fine.
We'll save money if he did.
And that was what I was trying to think through all that. I
I'm
thought,
sorry.
no, I don't need to introduce that during that motion. That's
I
why I
don't think
saw
we need
smoke.
that. I don't think we
And
need
so I
that.
agree with you 100%. That's why I'd like to know exactly what Oak's 3-yard, 2 times a week price is.
Okay?
Then we can make a comparison.
Okay.
If the
Perfect.
sheriff's dealing with it over there, it's really none of our concern.
Correct.
The county's paying for it, but he's dealing with it on his own.
Yeah.
So I believe I'll let my motion stand to
Yes.
request a 3-yard, 2 times a week price from Oak Disposal.
I'll go ahead and second it because I
Thank
think
you,
it's
sir.
appropriate to
Yeah.
know.
It's been moved and seconded to request a bid from Oak Disposal for a 3-yard dumpster service twice a week. Discussion? Public comment? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Yeah, then we know. That's,
I agree.
Anytime Shannon can go
No issue
get
whatsoever.
2 yards.
okay, very good.
Is there more to this saga?
Yeah, you just hang on. We're getting wound up now. We're getting at a high low. 2019 BOCC point of contacts. I would move that we approve the BOCC point of contacts as follows. Commissioner Prince, use of public service, attainable housing, planning and zoning, human services, public health, Westcliff Community Center Board, West Wetmore Library Board, human resource / finance, and tourism. Commissioner Kanda, emergency management office, road and bridge, landfill, recycling, veterans service, and airport. Commissioner Flower, IT, custodial, grounds and maintenance, buildings, resource center, annex, extension, upper arc. And the county needs assessment committee, which I don't know that we officially met, but all 3 commissioners would serve on that.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded that the aforementioned point of contact be assigned to the commissioners. Discussion. Public comment.
Do we want to change the county needs assessment to Justice Center?
No.
No?
Not because there are other needs.
Well, I think
That's my view.
that committee was specifically for that county needs assessment that they did, right? And that's been done. So I kind of agree that that's served its purpose and really no longer in existence, been replaced by.
For that,
Justice
it's
Center.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Let's see, we would
But
be,
things will come up in the future, and we can do that at that time, I guess.
right. I see the merits of making that the Justice Center Committee. Commissioner Prince, Commissioner
Don't have
Kanda.
any problem with that.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
May I make a comment before we vote?
You may.
I'd just like to say that even though we have delineated points of contact, this board has taken on the responsibility of we're each totally accessible to anybody who needs us, and we work as a team, and there's none of this, hey, that's my area, you keep your hands out. I know we don't play that game. So I just want to make that comment that it's been very functional, and I think it's been well handled.
Yeah, I agree, and for the record, there is a note at the bottom of this document that says these designations are points of contact only. The BOCC is an elected body, and any of the 3 commissioners can be contacted by any department on any issue. So, just to support what you were saying, that was added in there.
Also, for the record, since you're doing it, we do not vote on any of these boards or areas. We can sit there as a citizen, and we for sure won't have 2 guys there because 2's a quorum, 2 commissioners. And if we do, then it becomes a workshop where we don't say anything, we listen. And we wait for the boards, and that's your responsibility, to bring things to us, so you work them out.
Okay. Further discussion? Public comment? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote on the 2019 point of contact list for the commissioners. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Don't remember the counselor having any responsibility in that document.
I don't.
And what does he do?
I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet.
I was out of trouble.
I haven't figured that out, but I've only been in office a year, so
Yeah,
maybe.
we'll figure it out.
I'm just here for another pretty
The
fix.
county's best kept secret.
Right. Okay, next item of business is the request of the Planning Commission.
Actually, tourism board.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Tourism Board bylaws.
I move that we postpone the approval or conversation about the tourism bylaws to such time as we have more opportunity to review it. I just received it this morning, and I'd
Okay,
like to read it further.
so postpone either indefinitely, which has no date, which in essence means it would never come back to us in its current form, or postpone to a certain date, or you could lay it on the table, so. Take care, Dallas.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do a date certain, and I
Okay.
would say what the last meeting of this month, so it would be the January 31st meeting.
Yeah. Let's share the wealth in these meetings.
I'll second. It's been moved and seconded to postpone action on the Tourism Board bylaws until January 31. Discussion? Sorry, there's no discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries. Now we will move on to request from the Planning Commission for a letter of position on the water augmentation plan. Gentlemen, I put that on the agenda. I would like to formally ask the Planning Commission to meet and come up with a position. As it's worded on this agenda is not correct, and I didn't catch it, or I would have corrected it on our amendments. My intent was to get a letter of position from the Planning Commission. I don't have any idea whether it be opposed or support, but a letter of position from the Planning Commission on the water augmentation.
What was your
plan.
thought, though? I agree. I think that's something that's necessary. Right now, we've got a letter that we're going to send saying, you guys screwed it up in the process. You didn't involve us or the citizens of the county. And therefore, we want that to be done before we either approve or disapprove. In order for us to approve or disapprove, we need to understand it, which is why we need some input from our planning, whatever. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was
So-
my take. I mean,
so-
water, not all water's tied to the land, but certainly the majority of it is. I think eventually this is going to be a land use issue.
It will be, and it'll be a people issue eventually if, even where you have a private well.
And so that's why
So when,
Want to
my
request
question really
that.
is why, when?
I had a discussion with Jackie Hobby. She tentatively, because she was afraid that question would be asked, tentatively she's scheduled for January 22nd.
They have a long lead time before they
They
meet.
have to post 2 weeks in advance.
Right, and so when does it, from water court point of view, how much time do we have?
Not enough.
That has not been determined. The legals on that are coming out this week.
You gave us a direction any time in January. We will be publishing as of next week.
And do you remember reading that legal? Did they have a deadline for letters of opposition?
I'd have to go look at it. I don't remember off the top of
I
my
haven't
head.
seen the legal, so.
I don't have
And
to-
does it get
I
the-
spoke to them, but I failed to ask that
I
question.
think we need to understand how they defer it, or how do they got them up, they got an action to perform down there. How does it,
Now,
when
who's
somebody,
they?
the what, district,
Oh, what, Division Two
The
Water
water
Court?
court.
and so and what we're doing is interrupting the process because we object. And so do they postpone things? How do they determine?
Well, they're gonna have a period of objection. I would imagine it'll be 90 days, but it could
We
be
don't know
60.
that.
Something to find out.
If I may, I feel a letter objecting to the process, because that's all we're objecting to. We're not objecting to what they're asking for. We're objecting to the process and asking them to hold off until some process is done properly. I feel that we ought to go ahead and send this, let our planning and
Okay,
zoning
let me
commission.
interrupt you, sir,
Uh-huh.
intentionally, because we're not talking about this letter. We're talking about whether or not we're gonna ask the planning commission to give us a letter of support. Unless I just misunderstood what you were saying. We got off
I
on
think where he's
this
going
letter,
is-
and that's not what we're talking about.
Okay.
It's timing though, is his
Well,
point, you're right, but
and that's where
we
I was
need to
going on the
understand.
timing of it,
Oh,
is what I
okay.
was really
All right.
thinking.
Okay.
I think planning and zoning could send their objection or approval when they're done. I don't think we should be dependent upon what they do before we send whatever response we choose to do. That's where I'm going from.
Right, so my whole concern was, we gotta have time for them to have we gotta be able to react legally somehow and before they hammer a gavel down there and say, okay, the plan's been adopted.
Right. But I don't think we should be dependent upon
No,
planning and zoning's,
no, the
whether
only
they're
question
for or
is,
opposed.
right.
I think we should act as our county commissioners, and then they can have their own input as they choose. As I think every citizen ought to be
Sure.
sending whatever notices they choose to make also.
And it's our job to make sure we get it in time so that citizens can react.
Right.
And that's the purpose of the 14-day
Right.
meeting notification from the planning commission.
Correct.
I happen to agree with both of you. I misunderstood where you were going. I thought you wanted to get on the conversation.
I wasn't even
about
talking
that
about
letter,
that.
because I thought on the
It
screen.
was timing I was concerned
Yeah,
about.
the timing here might be a little awkward. I suspect that the planning commission would also address their letter to the water court.
Well, but-
There may be some validity to the idea of, well, commissioners, why don't you wait and see what your planning commission wants to do?
I think we're the ones that would present it, Tom.
I think they're gonna probably
From-
consider this from a different perspective than what we're considering it right now, and I thought that was your point.
Exactly.
We're gonna get another
Process.
input, and that'll enable us to put another letter from us,
I would
because that's where
think
the
so.
meat is.
Yeah.
It's from us.
Yeah.
Ours is a letter objecting to the process that took
Right.
place. Stall it until such time
Right.
as the process can take place the way we would like it to take
Right,
place.
then we'll go back and either,
And then we could
with-
determine whether, this
with knowledge.
this plan may be terrific. We just don't know. That's the issue.
Now, the water court's process is to accept an application, hear that at the water court, make a determination, which they did, and then legal posting, I think, has to be posted for 2 weeks or maybe 3, I don't know, I haven't read it, but, and then there's that period of opposition. So I'm assuming if the commissioners, however the commissioners decide to vote on that, but if we decide to enter a letter of opposition to the courts, it would be totally separate and different than the letter we're going to consider today.
yes.
Because we're going to eventually take a stand of support or oppose the application.
That is correct.
Okay.
We're opposing the opposition and
We're-
asking you, please don't
we're-
rule until our citizens
Yeah,
have
we
an
want to
opportunity.
stop the process for a short time.
So to answer Commissioner Candace's question, that's why I put this on the agenda today. I would like to direct the Planning Commission to come up with a letter of position in reference to the water augmentation plan.
That's the way it should be.
The moved and seconded to direct the commissioners, or the Planning Commission, shouldn't have had these two next to each other, the Planning Commission to pin a letter of position to the water augmentation plan. Discussion, further discussion?
Yeah, just real quick.
Go ahead.
You gotta word it right. It's, we're asking them to come up with an informed position.
Right, position.
Involving, it's not just it's involving the citizens of the county.
Well,
And that's up to their process. which I'm
yeah,
assuming they
exactly.
got.
That's why the 2-week notice is in there. They'll post it if they get people to come to their meeting and share their opinions, fine. They may not, who knows, but that's why that process is in place. And that's why they went ahead and picked the 22nd so that they would get that date solidified in the courtroom.
And I do know that I've gone through the division court process in adjudicating some wells, and that takes forever. It's like, can't imagine unless they've got somebody greasing the skids somehow, because it's a bigger deal with this. I would expect we got plenty of time.
Oh, I think we do. I would be surprised if it's not less than 20 days, or if it's less than 20 days, or 90 days, sorry.
What time is that meeting?
That meeting is 1:30, I believe, but let me check that to make sure. 1:30, okay.
Meeting.
And that's in the courtroom, Commissioner, Planning Commission.
Okay.
Yeah.
What date?
The 22nd,
22nd of January, in the courtroom, 1:30.
if the courtroom's available.
It is, she checked.
Okay, cool.
She got back to me and said that was fine.
She never got back to me.
Oh, well, that's, I'm daydreaming. Yes, sir.
Is Round Mountain involved in it?
It's a great question. I've had a conversation and sent an email to George Medeiros around Mountain Water, and I would guess they will probably be at that planning commission meeting.
They should already be part of the augmentation that already has occurred,
Well-
because they're within that boundary, the original boundary.
They have their own water aug plan.
Right.
Round Mountain does. Doesn't mean they could not potentially be affected
Be
by this.
impacted by it.
George Medeiros was not at the meeting when they voted to send this application to the water court either. So I will continue to reach out to him.
Yeah, I think they ought to be knee-deep in it.
Yeah. Yeah, on the surface, one would think that. Now, when you really look at the blue line, then it makes you want to ask. This expansion of the blue line, why? Who's it going to affect? Where's the water coming from?
You covered the town.
What's the exchange is going to look like? See, it's just, it's a little weird. Yes, sir.
Yeah, is Bill Donnelly on the Planning and Zoning Commission board?
Yes. And he's a seated member on Upper Ark.
All I needed to know.
So, further discussion, further public comment? Great points. All in favor say aye. Aye. Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries. I will convey that to Mrs. Hobby. And then the idea behind the date of the 22nd, their intent is to come up with a letter and have it presented to the Board of Commissioners on the 23rd. So the next item of business is considering the letter of opposition to the
Process.
Division 2 Water Court in, as it pertains to the water augmentation plan submitted by Upper Ark.
The Upper Ark Water Conservancy District submitted augmentation plan. Okay, I move we accept, or we sent, we take the pinned letter that our counselor has done and submit it to the Upper Ark, or to the district water court, or the, what is it, the division? Second
Division 2.
Division 2 water court. As it is pinned, I think it's very good.
Okay, I would stand to correct your motion that Commissioner Prince wrote this, not council.
Well, I said Perry Mason, didn't I?
No, you said council.
I said Perry Mason.
I will second the motion if your intent was
That's
to
good. That's what I
correctly
meant.
identify the
That's what I
author.
meant.
Okay. Been moved and seconded to send the letter on behalf of the county commissioners to Larry Schwartz, Judge of Division II Water Court. I think I will read this for the record. Okay with that. Dear Judge Schwartz, the Board of County Commissioners of Custer County, Colorado, after consultation with members of the community and the Board of Directors of the San Isabel Land Protection Trust, strongly oppose the adoption of the Upper Arkansas Water Conservancy District's proposed augmentation plan for Custer County, Colorado. Custer County prides itself on complete transparency involving any actions taken that may significantly impact our citizens. The proposed UAWCD augmentation plan was submitted without input from our citizens and without an impact study to determine the ramifications of such a plan if it was implemented. The Board of County Commissioners of Custer County strongly urge the Arkansas Basin Water Court to reject the plan submitted by the UAWCD at this time. Upon proper citizenry input and a clear understanding of the short-term and long-term ramifications of the proposed plan, Custer County may advocate for the plan's adoption. However, at this time, the Board of County Commissioners of Custer County adamantly opposes adoption of the proposed water aug plan submitted by the Upper Arkansas Water Conservancy District. Respectfully, myself, Commissioner Canada, Commissioner Prince. Carbon copy to Terry Skanga, Ralph Terry Skanga, Upper Arkansas Water Conservancy District Manager, and Larry Vickerman, President, San Isabel Land Protection Trust.
Why wouldn't we copy the director?
He will be. The manager?
No, the director of the Upper Ark, Bob Cinder.
Oh, the chairman?
Chairman, I mean.
That's right. That's Terry Skanga.
No. Cinderhoff's the chairman.
Skanga is the district.
Skanga is their district manager.
Send it to.
We could.
I think maybe we ought to change from Mr. Skanga to Mr. Cinderhoff if he's, I want to put the head guy in.
He's the head guy.
Okay.
Then let's do it.
Yeah, and I would maybe suggest we add
Okay,
Mr.
just
Cinderhoff to this because all of the documentation and communication has come from Mr. Skanga, not Mr. Cinderhoff.
Then let's just have him as a CC.
So
He should be CC.
Okay.
Okay, I'm good with that. Okay.
Miss Brenda, you all right? You on that?
No.
Okay, we're gonna carbon copy Mr. Cinderhoff
Okay.
in addition to Mr. Skanga and Mr. Vickerman. I'm not sure I got enough room on the, yeah, I do too.
You do.
Yeah.
I put Cinder off first, Ralph second.
Okay, probably a good idea. Yes, sir.
What's the timing on that letter? Will it be there prior to the meeting on Thursday?
Yeah, this letter will go out tomorrow.
Okay.
Well, let me rephrase that. Don't know when it will get to Salida.
What about
I can take one
hand-carrying?
when I go to that meeting as well, but I think we'll postmark or we'll mail this today. And then I can hand carry a letter in the event that it didn't get there. Yes, we can.
Can you go over those CCs again?
Yep. Hold on just a second, sir.
You got the original copy, Brenda? Do you have the
Robert
original?
Cinderhoff,
Just stick him in there for.
Ralph Skanga, Larry Vickerman.
And Bob, you want to include Bob's title?
Yeah,
What is his?
he's the chairman
Chairman,
of the
UA.
UAWCD.
What is Mr. Skanga's title?
He's the district
He's
manager.
a district manager.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I could have brought that to your attention, sir, and never thought about it.
No problem at all.
Thank you for writing that letter. I appreciate it.
Real pleasure.
Miss Brenda,
Yes.
I have, and we could certainly all defer to you, Mr. Robert Cinderhoff, Chairman, Upper Arkansas Water Conservancy District. Ralph Terry Scanga Jr., Manager, Upper Arkansas Water Conservancy District, and Larry Vickerman, President, San Isabel Land Protection Trust.
Yes.
Thank you. Were we still in debate or discussion? Any further discussion, gentlemen? Public comment?
Just a question.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Yeah, well-written letter,
Oh,
very well written.
I agree. Yep. Further public comment? Yes, sir.
Just for your information, in case you don't already know, but I talked to Mr. Senderoff a while ago in the courtroom, and you are on the agenda.
Yes, I'm aware of that. Yep. Yeah, there's a contingency planning to attend that meeting as well. The 3 commissioners will be at that meeting. I polled my fellow commissioners, and they indicated they were going as well. So
the only question I have, and it's probably not really, it's just an adjunct thing here. Bob Senderhoff is the chairman, and he claims or thinks that he's had quite a bit of interaction and he's explained things that go on, but I don't know who he's explained them to. So maybe it behooves us to have, I know we periodically get to these water board meetings and we can't always be there, and you've been to a lot of them. We need to make sure, it's not probably the only time we're going to be involved with these guys, to make sure that we get maybe some process going here later on, and how we get briefed on things that are happening, that we can publicly get people invited to the workshops or whatever, and have them talk about it. Because I've learned a lot every time I've attended that meeting, and you see something new, and there's some great stuff, and then there's some bad stuff. So that's just a thought for later on. It's just
okay. Yeah, my observations have been, as an ex officio member, certainly not privy to unsigned copies of minutes.
right.
I don't get those minutes until after they've been signed, which are 30 days post.
But we're not the experts, and we get those minutes, and that's great. We ought to get it out, but we need those guys coming to our turf. They really appreciate the commissioners being there. They're not hiding anything. We can be there every time we want them to be.
Right.
But we need to get them down here, because that gets the interaction going and the people involved.
Yeah, I think a subsequent request from us, I could see that happening anyway, would be to request them to come down
After this special.
have a meeting. So, further public comment? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor of sending the letter to the Division II Water Court as written, with carbon copied as indicated, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you. That will be on letterhead probably before the end of the meeting.
Wonderful. I think you're right.
It was already on letterhead, but unfortunately we've made some changes, so
Wasting paper.
we will sign that when Miss Brenda brings back the corrected copy. Letter of resignation is our next item of business from one Miss Meredith Nichols. I asked Miss Brenda to put this on the agenda because I thought we needed to formalize this in the event that at some point henceforth we decide to advertise for a position. I didn't think it was right for us to do that without accepting, number one, knowing that we had a resignation, and two, accepting it.
Did she send it in?
Yeah.
I thought she did.
Yeah.
So we want to formalize it.
That's my intent here anyway. That's why I
Very
put that.
professional resignation letter.
Yeah. I would move that we accept her letter of resignation, her being Meredith Nichols.
I will very reluctantly second this, because I think she was a terrific asset to the county.
Okay. Discussion. I would like to read this letter into the record if I may.
Sure.
Dear Cindy Howard, Director of Emergency Manager, Custer County Office of Emergency Management. Thank you, ma'am. 710 Rosita, West Cliff, Colorado. Dear Cindy Howard, it is with regret that I tender my resignation from the Custer County Office of Emergency Management, effective immediately. I'm thankful for having had the opportunity to serve Custer County as the Deputy Emergency Manager this last year. It was my pleasure working with you and for the community. Sincerely, Meredith Nichols, Deputy Emergency Manager. Further discussion? Public comment? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. You don't need this, do you?
I move that any time our meetings go past 12 o'clock, that the commissioners call Domino's
Oh.
for lunch.
In Pueblo?
Possible vehicle donation to Los Angeles County. We wore out our sheriff, so thought he would speak to this matter, but
He said he didn't have time, he had to go, and just to forget the whole thing.
okay, so he wants to postpone it. All right.
Get it.
I'm certainly willing to table this, but I would like to have a discussion before we do that, if we may.
Well, I think he said that if he couldn't address it today, he just didn't want to do it at all.
Okay, all right. Probably a timing thing, because I would imagine they're probably in the process of replacing those vehicles, but...
And we may have a need as a courtesy car at the airport. That would be a consideration.
Right. For the record, I was trying to see if I could find his email. I don't have it here, but Shannon Byerly contacted the commissioners and asked if we would consider donating a vehicle to the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Office in view of the fact that they had actually lost two vehicles in a recent multi-car accident that claimed the life of one of their deputies in Los Angeles County. So Shannon is pulling two of those vehicles out of service from his office and was going to ask us to consider donating one. I sent an email back to him and said I would put it on the agenda, and then also asked if he had any directives for the second vehicle. He said no, both of those vehicles would certainly be up to the county to decide what we wanted to do with those. I would, in echoing what Commissioner Canada just referred to, recommend the Board of Commissioners consider maybe utilizing one of those vehicles at the airport, either as a courtesy vehicle or as a snowplow truck or whatever deems appropriate, because we just never know.
Well,
What is it, a
Drive
pickup?
both, but the courtesy car needs to be.
So I would think, and maybe we can put this on a subsequent agenda, that
Let's let them get a plan together and say, here's how they're gonna use it.
Okay.
I would think that that's probably would be the best for you to make a request to us, and then we can pass that on to Shannon Byerly. Yes, sir.
So you'd like the airport board in formal writing to request a courtesy car that would be owned by the county, would be on county property, and how we felt it would need it to be insured and maintained.
Yep, that's up to you guys.
And
Well, the insurance would be county insurance, but you'd be responsible for maintaining it.
Operating it.
and that's
Or
fine.
letting it be used by people.
For the public to understand, as an aviator flying across the country, probably the second most important thing after fuel price is, can I go get lunch?
Right.
And if it's getting late, can I get into town?
Right.
The courtesy car will provide income to the community.
Right.
I think we're all in favor of it.
And
Put that in, so
Right.
we got a record, everybody can look at it.
yeah,
We're in
so
agreement.
we'll have that in there.
Sure.
And it would be a great asset.
We agree.
Yeah, I would think we will hold off making any
Right.
decisions about the disposition of these vehicles until
Okay.
Just give it to us.
somewhat later, but I couldn't tell you when that is, so probably the sooner the better. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think, we went through this once before with a courtesy car out there, and it was used for a guy to go skiing over in somewhere, Breckenridge or something. Is the vehicle, my only question is, would the vehicle be staying in this county?
Well, they're gonna propose that to whatever.
But Bob was out there when that happened,
Yeah.
you know?
Sure.
Sure.
Well, and that's nothing to say that somebody wouldn't fly in here and drive that vehicle down to Ot 6 Ranch. I don't know. That's up to the airport to lay that out.
Yeah, that's
But
what I was gonna
certainly, I think they're aware
But I
of the
mean,
issue.
within
Right.
reasonable distance.
Right, that's correct.
Yeah. Go ahead.
To offer a bit of an answer to that question, it's a very good one. Llano, Texas has a courtesy car, 2 of them. One is provided by Cooper Barbecue. Fly in, use their car to go buy expensive barbecue. They had an individual come in from Colorado, use a courtesy car, make a marijuana run over to Austin, and got caught on the way back with a bundle of money. When you sign for the contract on the car, and we will have a contract, it will state radius, usage, and mileage requirements. And we'll set up a donation. If you charge for it, then you fall into a tax situation, but a donation will work. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. And I think the airport's probably got some good ideas about advertising and contracts.
Signs on the door,
So,
it'll be a
but-
community boost.
I just didn't want history repeating itself.
Exactly. Believe me, you are not the only one.
Right.
And you're gonna get Max Smith to drive it.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. We'll move into public comment section if anyone has anything. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Mr.
I would
Gregory.
request that our IT guy help us with our website.
Okay.
It's in disarray at the moment. I
All
don't know if
right.
you guys have looked at it, but you might look at it.
I have. Definitely needs updated, but
Well, and it even says airport advisory
Right.
board, which needs to go
Right.
away. And
yeah.
there's members on there that have passed, and it says,
Very reasonable.
There's a lot of
Would,
things, yeah.
if I contact our IT director, Mr. Roth, who would be the first contact person at the airport to help
Okay.
him? Mr. Jolly? Okay,
Yeah.
I will do that. You certainly feel free to reach out to him as well if you want. I will do that today.
okay.
Very good, thank you. Yes, sir.
I sent you a copy of our proposed bylaws
Yes,
with the corrections you asked for and
Yes.
added verbiage.
thank you. Good point. Why we did not get that on the,
How did you miss that on the 1,000 things you
Yeah.
put on there?
Yeah, because the airport's much
More important.
right.
I suggest we put that on the next meeting.
Yeah.
I don't
Yes.
remember.
Legally, we cannot put it on this agenda, sir, because we don't have 24-hour notice.
Okay.
That was my mistake.
Then I want to know if you had Brian Anderson look at it, because he's pretty cagey.
So, Miss Brenda, I'm gonna take that as a consensus item. Sure. Okay. You all right with that, Mr. Kanda?
On the 23rd?
Yes. Mr. Jolly,
What can I say?
can the board function until the 23rd on the current set of bylaws?
We'll struggle. We'll make it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else, public comment? Yes, sir.
I'd just like to thank the county commissioners on their concern and prompt action on this water issue.
Well, we appreciate it. Thank you for your comment.
First time to attend the meeting, I'm impressed.
Well,
And I, Calvin, come on. Where I came from, I worked with county commissioners quite often. That's all I'll say. I'm impressed with it.
well, thank you. Appreciate that. Anything else? Public comment? Gentlemen, anything else for the good of the order? Hearing no objection, meeting is adjourned. 12:34 p.m. Thank you, folks.